Let them know you're aware because they know when you're not aware. When you're not aware that they can't be talking to you, you do things like show up to court.
They test you.
If you can't talk to me, why would I be showing up to court? If you're not supposed to be talking to me, I'm not coming on your command. I don't care what the fuck you threaten me with. I'm not doing it. All right. Welcome everyone to today's live Zoom. Today is the alleged 26th day of the first month, year of our Lord 2023. And we are gathered here today for Bible study as usual. So thank you for remembering to put in the hashtags for the day because we have been forgetting to do that. Benny says, stop feeding babies that shit in bottles. Hey, you know, we all want to help ourselves, help our communities, help the world at large. When we realize certain things, at least that's what we wish to do. However, what we will learn sooner or later with our humongous caring hearts for the world is that some people, and of course, it's not our job to pick who, but we should recognize who when we encounter them. There's some people who seem to be here to be cannon fodder. There's some people who seem to be here to be, you know that song? Sweet dreams are made of these. Who am I to disagree? Travel the world in the seven seas. Everybody's looking for something, right? Some of them want to use you.
Yes, they do.
Some of them want to be used by you, right? Some of them want to abuse you.
Yes, they do.
Some of them want to be abused. When you, what I would like for you guys to do is watch that video. You can watch it in silence because when we're watching a video of a song we're familiar with, we might just get caught up in the lyrics that we know and we don't watch the visual. But in that video, they're teasing us about the shape of the world and the shape the world is in. Watch that video. They're saying something very powerful. You can show someone who wishes not to know the truth and they will not see it. You can tell it to them and they will not hear it. They're not here for that. And our ego makes us feel bad for them. It makes us want to change them. It makes us want to force them to listen, give them ears that will hear, give them eyes that will see. Why? Because they're our friend, they're our child, they're our mother or father, they're our favorite cousin, they're our BFF, and it's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. And it's because of that song. Not just because of the song, but because of the examples, the reasoning, the mindset. Someone put in the chat, cognitive dissonance, right? The best way to help someone with cognitive dissonance is to ask questions, right? Would you be willing if there were a way for you to or not experience whatever? Would you be willing? You'll be amazed that the answer is no, I am not willing. And it's not because they are unable. It is because they are unwilling. I had a conversation with Skyer. I don't know if he's on today. I had a conversation with him yesterday, and he is trying to communicate with a friend that he's had for 15 plus years, why he is staying the course, keeping the faith, continuing his lawsuit that he's already filed against the state and the county, etc. And he expressed that they literally said, I don't want to know that. I don't want to know what rules, laws, codes are being used to enslave me because their fear, their yellow belliness, their bitch assness will not allow them to stand up for themselves. So they know that with knowledge comes responsibility. So they figure, if I know not, if I just remain nice, they don't want to be Spider-Man. No, they want to be nice, right? They want to be nice people. I don't want to ruffle any feathers. I don't want to rock the boat. When I identify someone as massa, aka the government of any level, if they tell me that I need to do something, I'm gonna say, yes, sir. Yes, massa. How high, massa? You like that, massa? They are not here to stand up for themselves. They're not here to bully the people who want to bully your children, your best friend, your moms, your dad, your uncles, your aunts, grandma. They're not here for that.
I'm that nigga though.
Same. Same.
My bad.
It's okay. I don't care. I don't mind. Right? If they will not answer, someone said, like I said, cognitive dissonance. Right? Here goes Skyer. Someone mentioned cognitive dissonance. And there's nothing at all we can do once we ask them if they would be willing, if they would keep their mind open, and they straight up tell you, no, I don't want to know. So we're about to pack the call again. We only have 4 slots available. So if anyone on here is just here to, I don't know, do nothing with what they learn, then you might want to give your spot to somebody else. Because those of us that are taking this serious, we have children, we might have grandchildren, right? Maybe our parents are still alive, and so we want to protect them. Maybe our grandparents are still alive. Maybe they're trying to steal Granny house now from you, like what's going on with Jennifer Lynn. They're trying to steal Granny's house. They don't even want to send mail to the heirs. They're trying to do a secret foreclosure transaction, and we got to get up in there and disqualify the whole situation by disqualifying the main actors. Send the mail to the heirs, or send the heirs to the mail. What are we doing? All right. I see we have some hands up. Is it because you guys want to talk about stuff that we're going over today, or
Can I
y'all
ask my
have
question,
general questions?
Can I ask my general question that I disclosed about earlier?
Is it about what we have been talking about?
I think so, because it's a part of the whole concept correction and things of that nature. And I think what I'm going to do is just ask for no, that's the correct concept. That's the right approach. So that for the record, when my brother hears this, he'll be like, oh, okay, all right. Because I think that will help add to assisting in the comprehension and concept correction. So I'll be brief. All right. So there was a meeting called today. And of course, he showed up, not if, of course. However, let me tell you what I did pre that. What I did was, in noticing that there were text messages sent to him talking about, hey, this is postponed till later, call us to see if we can do something via online meeting or in special appearance.
Why they be acting like they're
physically,
your friend? They're your
right?
bestie.
So look, check this out, right? So what I realized was, I said, it said the state's attorney picked this up. So I called the state's attorney for the county. And when I called yesterday and this morning, it was like, we don't see anything for that. We don't deal with those type cases. So I said, So then I called the so-called courthouse, right? And asked them about the same number. Now, the clerk lady was like, well, yeah, the judge will be making a determination about that today at 1:30. And I'm thinking,
Yeah.
I'm thinking to myself, like, making a determination. All right, so no documentation has been put in on my brother's behalf, because you know what our approach is concept correction first, and then once you got the concept, move in on the documentation. So this is my plan, and I'm open for correction for everyone here, for the record. I'm thinking, since we don't know who or what is dealing with what, right? It's just something from more than 2 years ago, right? June to make 3 years ago.
Well,
Since this
damn,
was
that's
whatever it was.
a violation of speedy trial.
That's okay. That's one thing. So then I was thinking, for that to be back even further, was to ask for a records request pertaining to such. And then when you find out who's dealing with what, right? When you find out who's dealing with what, then we find out who the attorney is, ask for the authority, as well as do an office of bar counsel complaint. And then, because I will say it's near the Maryland State Republic, then because they don't call it judicial discipline near the Maryland State Republic. They call it judicial diet disability.
Yeah, here, I mean, they talk about it as disability as well here. They say you
Okay.
can disqualify the judge for impropriety, bias, or disability. And we laughed at the disability part because, of course, they're mentally disabled.
Correct. So I just wanted to make sure because, again, first of all, I can tell you what kind of case it was. Natural resources, right? And so when we looked up the Maryland Code for fishing and fisheries and looked at the definitions for Title 4, Section 1, subsection 4-101, right? If I remember it properly, and that's the definitions for it. And when you look at the definitions, right, it's like, hold on. All right, you got to be doing this at the pleasure of the governor.
Absolutely. Always.
And
Because let me show you guys something. This definition of resident that talks about the spouse of a member of the United States Armed Forces and all that, that chapter is fishing and wildlife.
Is which chapter for y'all?
Fish and
77.
wildlife.
77, right? Okay.
Right
Now they
there,
are-
Department
look,
of
hold
Fish
on.
and Wildlife, powers and duties, etc. Game fish mitigation.
Get a load of this. Get a load of this. I
Wow.
wasn't even trying to find this, right? So as I'm looking for different things about fish and fisheries and natural resources near the Maryland State Republic, or state of Maryland, at this case, when I'm saying how they're operating, right? And I saw that the chief judge for the district court of Maryland, which is state level district, right, not federal level district. What I realized was 21 days prior to their quasi-national inauguration, which is on the 20th January, on the 31st, December 2022, the Chief Judge John P. Morrissey, that's what he called himself, Chief Judge John P. Morrissey, right, had put out a notice to all law enforcement officers for natural resources and put out a fee schedule and was giving instruction of what to actually write on citations. I lied to you not. It's a 193-page document. I downloaded it last night.
Wow.
And I'm looking at it like, what the entire Phuket, Thailand am I looking at, right? And so as I'm reading it, it made me think, okay, legislation writes, executive branch acts it out. Now, you know, near the Maryland State Republic, they got Wes Moore, who's the new so-called governor. The lieutenant governor is a Hindustani woman, Aruna Miller, and then their attorney general is now Anthony G. Brown instead of Brian E. Frosh. So now they've got all these copper-toned beings that are sitting the heads of the state of Maryland, right? However, 21 days prior to that, you got a chief judge, which is supposed to be judicial, technically, right? That's supposed to be the judicial.
Right. He's
branch,
issuing
right?
executive orders.
And then saying, hey, law enforcement, this is how you're supposed to be, you know, writing down the fine amount for these natural resource violations.
Yeah,
Like,
but
that's literally a thing. So my question then is the strategy correct? Not only is that, you know, a violation of right to speedy trial, however, the strategy I'm thinking for my brother would be 1, records request, 2, disqualifying the attorney and the so-called judge or whatever, the banker, right?
yeah,
Disqualifying them by just simply asking questions.
that's what you have to do.
Okay. Just
And
wanted to
that's
make
what
sure.
everybody has to do, regardless of the situation. A records request is always going to help you. And I just want to make sure that when you guys are doing the records request, because that's basically what I was going to end today's call with, the records request, you have to make sure that you're asking the right department for the right record. You do not want to
Right.
be asking a random department for a random record, nor do you wish to ask the right department for the wrong record. But once you do the records request, and I know a lot of people are like, well, what questions would you ask? So that was the note that I wanted to end on. So we're going to come back around to that question. What
I
record
yield.
should you ask? So yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Again, Queen of Torts and Woman, are you guys asking questions about what we're going over today with the as above, so below stuff, or y'all just got random questions?
Mine's about county, I guess. So it's kind of like that stuff.
I like how everybody's trying to make it fit.
Well, I
squeeze
just
it.
with the trio has a state of Minnesota in it, and I was just wondering if I take that out and put the county and ECE in there because it's not the state I'm suing, it's those two.
Who gave the ECE their license? Who gives the ECE their funding?
The state, I would, yeah, so it would be the state then, so I'd leave it.
It's the state. They get the federal funding and they do a bunch of nonsense.
Okay. Yeah, that's
I
the only
would
thing I has
also
been kicking around.
have you done a report on them through FERC?
FERC? No,
Yeah,
I
Federal
haven't.
Energy Regulation Commission.
I don't know. I've reported them to so many agencies.
Well, FERC is who we go over in class number 1 for utilities.
Well, yeah, then I had to have because I know I've done everything in that one.
Make sure you look and see that you actually have. That's not one to forget. And the reason that's not one to forget is because that's the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, and
Yep.
they are actually over the Department of Transportation, period. Because
Okay,
they
yeah.
consider all of the roadways, all of the waterways, all of the water lines, all of the electricity connections as interstate and foreign commerce.
Yes.
Because that is the circuit.
All right. Well, I'm going to double check my records and see what I got. Thank
Yes.
you.
You're welcome. What about you, Woman? Are you gonna try to make it
Bye.
fit? All right. Does anybody have any questions as to what we've already covered? Any revelations? Any aha moments? Anybody wants to share?
Hey, how you doing? This is Prince Hashim.
Hi,
Can you hear me?
Nassim. Yes.
Hey, so I just wanted to clear up the concept of so above and below. So
Okay.
so the above part would be the Constitution and the Declaration. Is that what you mean?
Correct.
And the below part would be the state.
And the county and the city. Because what we're showing is the federal constitutions, the subject matter of the federal constitution is the subject matter of the state constitution, is the subject matter of the county charter, should they have one, or the county statutes. And it's absolutely the same as the city charter, meaning that if the federal constitution says that the government can only regulate the government, and the government can only make rules for the government and the land and naval forces, then they can't all of a sudden come down to the city or county level and touch your life, your private life. You
And
understand?
the county and state have to abide by the jurisdiction of the federal government.
Yes, they can only make laws not inconsistent with the federal constitution.
But you got to rub their face in there like a puppy shitting on the carpet and then beat them with the rolled up rules and regulations.
And a good example of that, as the states, is the marijuana laws with the haberdasheries and stuff, because they'll set up shop in the state and collect state taxes, but the federal will come down and squash them and put them out of business.
Okay, that's it. That's all I have for right now. I got other questions, but I'll wait till later on. Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. I highly recommend everybody watch the last 4 or 5 videos that we've done already and start making your own notes. Start making your own notes.
Blake, I have a question in relation to the material today.
Okay, go ahead.
Would you be able to show us at some point, when it comes to jurisdiction, where to pull up the Bureau of Land Management map to actually see what jurisdiction they actually have?
Okay, so on Lawful Living, Robin has already not only posted to the BLM stuff, but literally to the map where you can slide the map around to your town or city or whatever from the BLM. And because that is what's related to the territorial jurisdiction of the state, which is what, as you see, I got a lot of purple in there because that's what we're going to go over. The BLM map is very eye-opening because, again, in our minds, we think we live where?
In the state.
Yeah, not just in the state, but we also think that we're in the United States. I live in the United States. Isn't that what they make us choose? Make us choose from the slide down menu?
Yeah, that's what the hypnosis is done.
Slide down. I'm in the United States. But what we're going to learn is that in the United States is a very specific location that has to be for the purpose of very specific things, or you are not in the United States. Okay. Okay. We think that the United States is just wherever we consider well, this is Washington, and Washington is in the United States. So I am in the United States. This is the brain dirtying that they wish us to believe and wish us to hold in our cognitive dissonance.
We
But
just
the
run with it.
exercise that we're doing right now is going to let you know that you actually have to consent to be in the United States. It's not something that just dawns upon you by like somebody else bequeathing it to you, or where your parents had sex, or where they decided to deliver you, or any of that stuff that's in our programming. We have got to get that out and away. And this is why we're doing this series, because everybody's always like, well, where do I start? And it's important to begin at the beginning. You have to know who you are, you have to know where you are, and you have to know what you're doing there. Most of us don't know this. We don't know who we are. We don't know where we are.
Straw man.
And
Straw
we
man.
don't know what we're doing.
Tin man.
Read the straw
I
man.
think it's more like Tin Man. I think Bobby's onto something. It's more like Tin Man, the TIN man, the tax.
Well, the reason
Hey.
reason I say that is because it's when I hear united, it's unit.
United, right? Like
Right.
like Keith Solis.
Yeah.
Because unit is a group of wards in a hospital. That's the definition of unit. So,
United.
yes, a singular number regarded as an undivided whole for a single thing regarded as a member of a group, a quantity adopted as a standard of measure, and that all a group of wards in a hospital. And that all makes sense why it would be unit.
United, right. And also going back into that enumeration.
Yes,
So that brings us to a great place to start, guys, which is this 14th Amendment. Some people are afraid of it. Some people are in love with it. We just need to comprehend it, because we need to use these things as tools. We have to get to the point where we're doing this stuff Aikido style, where we use
Correct.
the strength of our opponent for our benefit. They love, for example, what's one of their favorite things to do when we send them a notice?
Cry.
Not use, not your
They
notice.
like to run away.
No, not just run away. They like to ignore. Isn't that the favorite? Everything everybody said, "Oh, I wrote them something. They ignored it." Ooh.
They're not
Hey,
recognizing.
Malika,
Ignore it.
Malika, I'm actually as you're speaking, I'm listening in the background. I'm actually getting a couple emails off of the Office Bar Council website so I can CC a forwarded message of my email from 2 days ago of my bar grievance that they've been ignoring for the last 2 days. They haven't said anything.
Yeah, they like to ignore,
Yep.
right? That's one of their strengths. So the
Ignorant.
question becomes, how can I use the fact that they will ignore this to my benefit? That's how we came up with the request for admissions and the records request. Because when you call it a request for admissions and you do it in a court case and they ignore it, there's something that pops up immediately called sanctions. Because rule, was it 37 of the Federal Rules of Procedure? It says disclosure required. Disclosures required, which means if I ask your stupid ass a question, you have to answer unless you want to be punished.
That's why I said sting them like they pooped on the carpet.
Exactly. Stuff their face in it. That's such a great analogy. It's so true. And I just keep thinking about all the dogs we've had to do that to. And it worked. And
Yes, it
that's what
does.
we have to do. The police think that when they put on that uniform, they are your boss. And it's not that they're not somebody's boss. They're just not your boss if you're just a regular man or woman. Okay? When you look up and then we go to the municipal code. You guys just don't know the line. It goes from the Bible, whether you like it or not, and the Torah, okay, and the Talmud, okay? And I'm going to go as far as to say the Quran. It goes from the holy books all the way down to your municipal code. And
Correct.
it's not that you need to know all of the codes, but you need to know the principles under certain sections.
They're universal.
Yeah, and that goes to the storyline of the BTK killer. It's the Bible, it's the Quran, and the Quran. Those three Trinity books that they parasite off of.
Absolutely. Because what people have to understand is you are not a victim. You're not a victim. You are considered to have been consented. And nobody stops to ask, well, when the hell did I consent? And what exactly did I consent to? Do you have a record of this consent? Because if they don't have a record of the consent, what does that mean?
Stimulating process or identity theft.
Coercion.
Slavery.
Someone says they cannot coexist. I disagree. They're coexisting right now. And I think they're coexisting again because they're based upon the same principles. Okay? You have a creator. Your rights come from there. Okay? So the 14th Amendment says all persons born or naturalized in the United States, born or naturalized in the United States. How can a person be born in the United States? How can a person be born in the United States?
When they set up a corporation.
When they set up a corporation, you have to be organized under the laws of to be born in. Because the United States just exists on paper. It is not an actual place. It has an office. The United States might have an office, but that office is not the United States.
May have.
In order to be, persons are legal entities, and they become born when they're put on paper. Who understands that?
Yeah.
That's why the birth certificate.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
U.S. citizen means business.
Exactly. We're getting it now.
Yay.
So when people fear the 14th Amendment or praise, I don't understand what you, well, I'm very neutral about this. When does the Constitution know the word people? Does the people but the people themselves, would they not have said all people born? Should they not have said that?
Yeah. No, of course. If you read the definition of person in the Black's Law Dictionary, 4th edition, I think it's the revised version. It says that person, as used in the first clause of the 14th Amendment, means a corporation.
It says it. If
That's
you
case law.
read well, that's my book of Enoch. Ah, shucks, it might be on the other side. But when you read things that were written around the time of the Constitution that included the Constitution, like you read the notes, the arguments, right, the debates about it, you would know they're talking about corporations, all persons born in. I mean, they could have said organized under the laws of. They could have said that, but they say organized under the laws of so many other times. When you read this stuff, you begin to see the pattern. So all persons, legal entities, born or naturalized in the United States, and then here's the kicker. Even if they meant people, actual, not the things people create, but the people themselves, they have an and here. So even if they did mean people, just being a people born, it's automatic. Okay? It's not auto, it says and. So you have to be created and became subject to. So separate from being born, even if it meant just becoming alive out your mama, how did you become subject to the jurisdiction thereof? Separate, because they can't say, oh, because you were born here, right? No one can say because you were born here, because there's an and here. How do you get the and? How does this happen?
That's kind of my emotional outburst question, just a little, because even the 4th Bill of Rights says the right for the people to be secure in their persons.
Persons,
So there's a
right?
distinguisher there on the same line.
That's my favorite sentence because it says both people in person. Because some people their fingers start puckering when they see the word person for no reason. But when you take it in that context, when it's in one singular sentence, the term people and person, you have to know the people who wrote the amendments are well aware of people and the things they create, persons. So the question we need to always be asking ourselves, what's the question I can ask here? How did you become subject to the jurisdiction thereof? How does this part happen? So you got to be born in and subject to. Are the citizens of the United States and of the states wherein they reside.
Yeah, so the born and the naturalized is very important because born, to me, when you read that, it means bear, the ones that bear the burden. And naturalized means the aliens that become citizens at the place.
You got to do something. Something has to happen.
Action has to occur. Or
What is it? I'm going to go ahead and say we got to go back to the beginning, right? Because as above, so below.
Origin.
How did you become subject thereto? It has to come because you did some action, made a record that shows you consented to be governed.
So the real birds and the bees conversation is not penis and vagina, it's pen to paper. Got it.
It's actually pit to pendulum. So the pit will be the paper and the pendulum will be the pen.
I hope everybody's clear now on the 14th Amendment. Because here they have born and naturalized, subject thereto, and then reside. They make sure they put the reside in there.
So
Okay.
if they adopt you adopt as a native or vernacular by your mannerisms and conduct. So they're assuming if it's by expression, not by consent itself, but just by expression, and it's introduced and assimilated in places where situations where they are not indigenous. So we're back to origin again. It has to be an act. And if they're going to assume your intentions and tie them to a firm number deceit of will, they are not recognizing your live will because they don't think you're doing live works.
It's not that they do not see us as alive. They just see us as animating persons while we're alive.
Right.
That's why I don't like to claim I'm animating a person. You'll hear me say I don't make imaginary friends and I don't drag around dead bodies.
Okay, so then when people like say, "Oh, I claim the 14th Amendment," blah blah blah, they just don't understand what they're saying.
Think so.
I don't. They claim the 14th Amendment. What does that mean?
Well,
I mean,
like
I'll bring the 14th Amendment forward to say, how did I meet this qualification? Right? I'll bring it forth like that.
Well, they'll claim, like I've heard people use it in fact of these are my rights. You know, I'm claiming this under the 14th Amendment or whatever.
They're
There
being
is no rights under the 14th Amendment unless you're a corporation.
Yeah.
Right, but they
Only
don't
there's
understand
only
that's what it means.
privileges. Yeah.
They're being
But
Correct. I get you.
there's only privileges under the 14th Amendment, but it shouldn't even be that because it was never lawfully ratified.
I'm gonna assume everything is perfect. Everything is
Well, we have the
perfectly
congressional
as
record
it's
to prove
supposed
it.
to be.
Just
So in
saying,
other
we
words,
do have the
if
record. I'm
the
saying, I'm just saying, I know it's a dual-edged sword. I'm just saying, if ever they try to use it against you and say, no, you're subject to this because 14th Amendment, yeah, we'll prove that. Because from the foundation, that shit is unconstitutional.
Hey, I keep going back to the beginning. Show me where I consented to be
consent.
governed. Since slavery is illegal and unlawful, please show me. Right? I don't have a problem with using, like someone said, double-edged sword. I love it. I'm not afraid of it, nor am I idolizing it.
Yes, sir.
So, as I said, this means that just being born, even if you think it is for people, or naturalized in the United States, does not automatically make one subject to the jurisdiction thereof.
right, because what the question and woman asked was constitutional. Those people are being constitutionalists because they don't understand the word constitute. They don't understand their own construction because that means to enter into the formation of a necessary part. So if you want to enter that hole, you can go do those things. But
Yeah, I
you
keep
don't
telling.
need to do that.
I'm not under the Constitution. I'm not underneath it.
Right.
So, I I don't have to claim protections under it.
I take my morning constitution.
You're not under the Constitution because you are the Constitution being upheld by those under it. Technically.
I'm in the throne held up in the chair with the poles underneath, and the
Correct.
servants are the ones standing at the side carrying my throne.
Correct.
I'm not underneath it.
They're Jeffrey, you're the Fresh Prince.
Correct. Right? So further, persons referred to as born, those legal entities registered under the laws of the United States and reside in the territories or possession thereof. Hope y'all understand that, because we're going to jump right into the territories and possessions, because that's going to take us to where we are, because people don't know where we are. We don't know where we are. We don't know where we are in the universe. We don't know where we are in the world. We don't know where we are on the land. We don't know. We think we know. But this term, territories or possessions, is fundamental. And look what I found. 8 USC 1421, the Naturalization Authority. The sole authority to naturalize persons, citizens of the United States, is conferred upon who? The parens patriae.
That's who you're siding with because you're re-siding.
You're residing. You went, what was that?
To settle, linger, sit down. You're re-siding in a fictional state.
So records request to the Attorney General?
Yes, records request to the Attorney General. This is what we should be thinking about when we're going through this today. Who am I going to send these records requests to? What kinds of records requests am I going to send? Because look at the section we're under in personam. Rule 17 says the plaintiff and defendant has the capacity of public officers. Rule 20 says defendants can only be persons subject to admiralty process in rem. When did I become this? Oh shit, the 14th Amendment had subject to the jurisdiction thereof.
Like Halloween.
Okay, so Attorney General, please show me the record that I became a person subject to the admiralty process in rem.
Pursuant to FRCP Rule 20.
Record is false.
Record is false. Certification of the record is false.
Everything.
Okay, so let's focus on where we are, these territories and possessions thereof. Because guess what? Article 4, Section 3, Clause 2 says the federal government can only dispose of and make. I love the fact that they always keep using rules and regulations. They don't say laws. They don't say laws that much in the Constitution.
think
So
they-
funny. They know.
Yeah, they knew.
They
knew
know.
there's going to be an assumption of this fictitious contract that really doesn't exist.
Right. That's why they were like, we ain't gonna even say law. We just gonna keep saying rules and regulations. See right there? Rules. Article 1, Section 8 say rules for the government and the regulation of the land forces. Now we down here talking about rules and regulations for the territory or other property belonging to the United States. So that means that the state government are limited to territory or other property belonging to the United States or the state. But it still has to only be territory or property. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about property. Is your time your property?
Yes. Oh, so
We gonna just mute Hassan before we ask questions.
forgive me.
But you have to stop him from unmuting.
Oh yes, we gotta block you. We gonna give up Hassan's spot because we already at 100, right? Is your life your property? Are your parental rights?
Yes.
Are your
Yes.
parental rights
Yes.
your property? So if your time is your property and they want to take some from you by inviting them to court, inviting you to court,
Yes.
what should you not protest?
You should be
Well,
asking for a warrant
Yes.
for them to seize your property.
Because how
Well,
did your time, which is your property, start belonging to the United States or a state?
They're saying you are their property because they're sending you summons and giving you a directive to come there. So yeah, it has to be submission right off the bat. So look at property. Property first was nature, quality, distinctive character always present in an individual or class. Then it later become about possession of goods. So
I
if
don't
you
even,
own
I
your-
don't care nothing about the goods part. My
Right.
rights,
Right.
they're proper to me. My
Yeah.
time is
Absolutely.
proper to me. Okay, that's really all you have. All you have is your life. That's really your only property. But how did it become belonging to? This is why Charles came on. Like, I got a court date. Your time, your life, your rights became property of who's commanding you to come and share some of it with them, give
Motherfucker,
some of
please.
it to them, suck some of it from you.
Motherfucker, please.
Is your talent your property?
Absolutely.
Is what you treasure your property?
Yep.
Okay, so your time, your talent, your treasure, your rights, how did they become belonging to the United States?
Sign in the paperwork.
I
Join-
doubt it. 'Cause
join in
what
the family.
paperwork? That's
Join
the
in the
question. What paper? Wait, show me the paperwork I signed. How many people you think the court's gonna bring whatever you signed into court? Ma'am, here's where you signed away your. When did they ever do that?
Right.
They don't even bring what they signed.
Right? They don't bring their shit. You think they're gonna bring what you signed? That's that brain dirty. That's why we got to ask the Attorney General. Excuse me, Attorney General, when did you naturalize me? Because remember, Malika is an immigrant. When did you naturalize me? Because I want to know when you started owning the land.
You're technically American though. North, Central,
Oh,
and
I
South.
absolutely am American.
It's all
And that's what I
American.
say. I'm American. Because I am. Okay.
But you're not a United States citizen. though.
Exactly. And ain't nobody on here a United States citizen unless they are registered on the laws. Okay. They somehow became territory or other property belonging to the United States. Okay. So the term territory we find in several titles. The main reason it's important about it being under Title 15 is who is the secretary that is over Title 15? Secretary of Commerce. Because this is trade and business, Title 15. Foreign trade and foreign business, that only the people who have the book of Title 15 or have done enough research in Title 15 realize that that's what Title 15 is. It's foreign trade and foreign commerce. It's not to protect your, what do they call it? Consumer right. Because the consumer is the government. I'm not protecting no rights of the government. I'm not an agent of the government. Okay? I'm the government mama.
So if you're claiming consumer rights, this is the problem. If you're claiming consumer rights, you're still acting like one of them because you're saying you're a consumer.
Right?
I have one of them.
The term territory
Well, just using,
means. This
they're
is why it's
using,
important to know that Title 15 is under
look,
foreign trade and foreign commerce. Foreign
Title
trade and foreign
15.
commerce, right? So that's the Secretary of Commerce. Very good, Am Woman. So
Real was saying something. I think you might not be able to hear him.
Was that Jamie?
No, they use Title 15 to get away from trust.
but Title 15 is trust territory. That's what I'm about to show y'all. It literally calls it trust territory. So you can't get out of it if you can't get out of it. Anyway, so 15, Secretary of Commerce. It says territory means any territory or possession of the United States, including, and we know what the word including means, the District of Columbia and the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico, but they made a point to say it excludes the Canal Zone. People like the
Panama Canal.
The Canal Zone is the possession of the United States. Puerto Rico, the District of Columbia, I thought they were talking about the United States of America. Why are they using the term territory or possession of the United States to say it only includes the District of Columbia, the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico? You can't even be a so-called natural person, consumer defined under Title 15 without being in the possession. One of the possessions, the District of Columbia, the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico, or other similar territories or possessions of the United States, which we will see. Again, the reason we're under Title 48 is because Title 48 USC and CFR corresponding is, if you look at the table of contents, you will see Title 48 is where they disclaim, describe, and make rules and regulations for these territories and possessions. They have it codified under Title 48. They list what they all are. They talk about where they are, what they can do there. And you see what it's called, Charles? Trust territory right there. For the purpose of this section, the terms territory or possession includes trust territory of the Pacific Islands and any area not within the boundaries of the several states over which the United States claims or exercises sovereignty.
Wow.
What I'm trying to say is that they try to get you in a credit debtor relationship to get you away from trust.
Got it.
You're getting sleepy. I have a question. What's so important about the word include? I don't understand what's so important about the word include.
Hold on, because we get into it. Let me see if I'm going to scroll down. The word includes and including is here we go. Damn, the last thing, guys. Here's the thing. These codes have rules of construction and rules of interpretation, meaning you can't just imagine what any of these words mean.
what did it say? Construction?
Yeah, rules of construction
Yeah.
and rules of interpretation.
Yep, construction's a big one.
It says here in 27 CFR, and again, I want to point out, I always like to point out the reason why the section is important. When you're reading other titles, like the ones up here, when I say reading them, meaning like you're not just reading it like how people read the Bible, unfortunately, and obviously read the Constitution where they just take the section and they just, that's all you know. It's removed from the context. So when you're reading the codes like in their form, in their PDFs, not just a little section on LLI WEX, what you'll find is they mention things like cross-referencing, and they'll say this section is authorized by or under the authority of. Okay, it's related to, it's cross-references, it's under the authority of. You'll see Title 27. When you look in the definition section of Title 27, you'll realize why they all reference this section. Because since they're supposed to be keeping the peace and quelling insurrection, the ATF, which is basically Title 27, alcohol, tobacco, firearms, is very important to every single code, every single other code, 1, 2, 3, 4, 12, 15, all of them, 48, because that's the territory jurisdiction. Okay. So here in Title 27 CFR, they define the terms includes and including do not exclude things that are not enumerated, but which are in the same general class. So it means that when they mention the District of Columbia, even though they don't mention Puerto Rico, Guam, the Mariana Islands, Guano Island, all this stuff, it does include them because they're in the same class. You follow me? So if one or two of them is mentioned, all of them are mentioned, because when they say includes or including, it includes all the things in the same general class. Does everybody understand that part? Because there's a flip side. The flip side is, does everybody understand that? Put a 1 in the chat if you understand. If they mention Guam, or they mention Puerto Rico, or they mention DC, they're also including everything in that same class. Please tell me that you are with me. All right, I see the ones coming in. Mel is not with me. Okay, most people are with me. All right. Okay. So the opposite is that when they don't include, when it seems like they're including something that is not of the same class, it means that it shouldn't be in there. It's like saying, I'm trying to describe something, and the first term I use is car, and then the next thing I say is apple, orange, banana. Does it sound like car belongs there? Does a car sound like it's in the same general class as apple, banana? Right? No.
And we're
That's
back to
the inconsistency.
we're back to origin and constitution. I'm sorry.
Yeah, gen.
yeah.
Gen as in Genesis.
Yeah.
We're back to the gen, as in the gene, the beginning.
Perfectly answered my question. Thank you.
All right. So when they are using this term under this territorial jurisdiction, and they say it includes, including the District of Columbia, the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico, excludes the Canal Zone. It means it includes Guam and all that other stuff listed under Title 48. The Pacific Islands, the Mariana Islands.
Hey, Malika, I have run across where in certain titles, or even in sections of titles, they'll define include, and they specify that it's not a limiting factor, but I just put
Exactly.
that
It's
in.
not
Right.
limiting because it includes everything else in the
Right.
same class.
It's got to be the same class, is what is the
Yes.
important part. Yeah.
Correct. So I might just say apples, oranges, pineapple, but it includes kiwi, strawberries, right? And blueberry. Because I'm obviously talking about fruit, all right? So that's what includes means and including means. It can only include things in the same class. So if you see that it's going all fruit, even if you throw in broccoli, it's like, okay, well, everything else is fruit. We're obviously not talking about vegetation generally. And if all you're naming is fruit, you throw in broccoli, now it's like, okay, are you trying to change the class that's being talked about from only fruit to vegetation by throwing broccoli in there. You see what I'm saying? That's what we
Yeah.
have to pay attention to.
That's what they're doing through the Linneman scale. Well, the Linneman scale looks at it started with 7, and then it went to 8. Now it's at 9. So it actually says that when they do their behaviors and mannerisms, where they throw those in there too, they are changing their class right in front of your face from kingdom.
Yes, but you gotta recognize it. As
Yes,
you
you
gotta
do.
recognize if it's fruit, and then they're throwing a vegetable. Now they're just trying to say vegetation. Okay,
So-
not limiting it to fruit.
Right.
But there's certain things that you can't if you're only supposed to be making rules for fruit, you can't just throw broccoli in there.
So include and including is synonymous with enclose, enclosing, and only.
No, collusion. For
Yeah,
those-
like
Yeah,
in collusion.
It's inclusion, yeah.
Okay, so I hope we got that. Like I said again here, that's the includes part. So now we get to another part of Title 48, where it says that the term territory, just like it defines here in Title 15, means right here it says a territory or possession of the United States. And now it says what those territories and possessions of the United States are. See right here? Puerto Rico, Guam, American Samoa, the Commonwealth of Northern Mariana Islands, the United States Virgin Islands. This is a tag from, if you do a search for territory or possession on Lawful Living, you will find that we have a bunch of posts about territories or possessions, so you can get clear. That's where I went back in to put this together for you guys. I went back to all my notes where we have this stuff, and I'm putting it in one master document so that people can follow along. Okay, so, and you can make your own. That's going to be even better because then you can get to add your own terms. So when you see the term Puerto Rico, it includes Guam and American Samoa and the Commonwealth of the Mariana Islands and the United States Virgin Islands. Even if it doesn't say it, it is including it because that is what's considered a territory. Just like here it says the territorial jurisdiction of the Constitution is the territory or possession of the United States. This is where they can exercise their power. But even there, it's not every dot. It's not every single dot on the Puerto Rican map. It's not every
Right,
single
because
place.
Puerto
in
Rico is
Guam. It's not every single place in the United States Virgin Islands.
it's a Commonwealth territory.
their
It's
embassies.
property. Yeah.
Yes.
It's places purchased. There you go.
Yes, it's places purchased or ceded to.
Exactly.
It gotta have that consent.
So if we looked at a ruler and the ruler has 12 inches and 1 inch would be the United States, the other 11 inches is outside of the jurisdiction of that 1 inch.
Yes,
Correct.
it's peripheral.
Unless one of those other inches were ceded or owned by
Right.
United
Maybe they
States.
ceded inch 1 and then inch 5, between 5 and 6. You know, 48 CFR definitions and words. Definition of words and terms. You see where I was saying a few minutes ago about you'll read these sections and they'll tell you they're under authority of another section? Who knows what 5 USC 301 is?
I'll shut up.
Check out the big brains on Brad.
Delegation.
You know that's why he wear that
About that
fez.
birth certificate.
Yeah.
His head's like this up there.
Yeah. Very good.
I'll be
I'm messing
quiet.
with him. Anyway, it right here it says authority. This section right here is where the birth certificates are. I actually put it in there.
Employees, right?
It's actually yes, and it's where the birth certificates are. I just want to say that everybody that I used to meet back in like 2017, 18, 19, and they call themselves Bay, like their last name, their surname, whatever you want to call it, title was Bay. They were always the ones talking about verifying and authenticating your birth certificate. So I started calling them birth certificate bays. I'm like, I met one of these birth certificate bays today. They came on my site, birth certificate.
I just
bae.
got off the phone conversation with one. I'm like, bro, come on, bro.
The birth
wanna-
certificate.
I guess they're using it as a dual-edged sword strategy. It's just not my strategy.
Oh, I don't know what they doing. But when you're here under Title 48, and they're talking about the definitions of words and terms, and they're saying the authority is 5 USC 301, which is where, if you pull up the PDF, you will see that's where the birth certificates are. And yes, Title V is employees. So when people are telling you to authenticate your birth certificate, what are they trying to do?
Authenticate that they're an employee.
Incorporate.
What are they trying to say?
Join the military.
Yes.
God, that's so fucking horrible and true at the same time.
The reason I found this out is because I was trying to find out why Section 30, Section 3, Title 5 on LII WEX was just these little tiny snippets. And I'm like, it's not making any sense. Let me see if they have the PDF. So you try to find the PDF. It includes title. I think it includes from 300 to 305 if you pull up in the PDF. But right there, they talk about the military section, and they start talking about the naval and armed forces, just like this right here. And then it's like birth certificates. I was like, what? Why did you put birth certificates under Title 5, 3? Why did you put it there? Unless you're trying to say something about who can get one. And where they need to be. Look, where they need to be. Because this says it's still Title 48, and the authority is under where the birth certificate has been.
Well, greetings, sis. I would like to interject. Greetings, everyone. I wanted to know what would you recommend for someone to undo the authentication? Because I know several people who have also done it. And yes,
There's
I
nothing
am.
to do. You don't have to do anything.
Doing is the
Hold it
process.
up and just
Make
Great
confetti
evening,
talk.
Malika. This is Mashe. I have a question if I could ask it right now.
Is it about what we're talking about?
Yes.
All right, go ahead.
So I posted in the app about my children being kidnapped the other day, and my daughter doesn't have a birth certificate for the state of Georgia in which she was born in. Where right now we're here visiting in the state of Maryland, and that's where her and her brother were kidnapped. He does have a state of Maryland birth certificate. So how should I go about this, especially since she doesn't have a birth certificate or a social security number?
Doesn't
Are
need one
you a
either.
member of the government or the land or naval forces?
Not anymore. I was.
You were? You have
I
your
was.
DD-214?
Yes.
Okay. Were you a part of the military when any of the children were born?
My son, yes.
Is that why he has a birth certificate?
Not necessarily. It was kind of forced upon me in the hospital.
In a military hospital?
No, a
Absolutely.
civilian hospital.
And no, there's no such thing. A civilian is as a military term.
Well, yeah. Okay, yeah.
The term civilian is a military term. It's whether
And it's one who's very well versed in the law too, a civil lion.
You should make that a T-shirt.
which one?
Civilian is a military term.
You're only active or not, but everybody that's in uniform, united is absolutely a civilian member of the military.
Okay.
Okay, so what you will need to do is get with the CPS class.
Okay.
Was there some type of hearing?
Yes, there was a virtual hearing yesterday, and then actual.
Wait. Was that the first hearing?
Yes.
And did you attend?
Yes.
Okay, that's your problem.
Okay.
She's participating. Go get them kids.
The kids are not the production of the municipality, and you didn't never intend them to be a production of the municipality because you are not a proffer for the municipality. You don't have a delegation authority to hold a merchant's registrar. Therefore, you cannot produce, you cannot account for any debts or obligations of the United States.
I would like to hear more about what you said, but we're gonna have to get through this first. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So, and this is interesting that her question came up just at this time because you see right where we are, still under Title 48. So we know that it's applicable to territories of the United States or other possessions. They list their possessions or their territories. Now it says in those territories, they have to have contract terms and conditions that are required to implement statutes or executive orders for commercial products and commercial services. Y'all want to know something funny? In the digital version of this source, when you click on commercial products and commercial services, the screen goes blank. but they are treating your parental rights, your property, your time, your talent, your energy, they're constricting it from the private into the public and calling it commercial products and services. In order for them to administer your parental rights, yes, you can have these children. No, you cannot have these children. It has to be an article of commerce. That's why we had that Title 15 down there. I guess it's down below. Okay. It has to be an art right here. It has to be an article of commerce. An article of commerce. They think your parental rights are an article of commerce, guys. That's why they try to charge you child support. I hope you guys are getting this. The contract terms and conditions are required for them, the agents, any of them, attorneys, judges, guardian ad litems, every single agency agent, the policy officers, the sheriff deputies, the mayor, all of them. They have to have from the Federal Acquisition Regulation System a record that they've been hired as contractors to implement any statute or executive orders. We're implementing statute, blah, 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 numbers, blah, blah, blah. Great. Where's the terms and conditions of your contract? Because the terms and condition of the contract is going to tell them that this is the territory they're supposed to be enforcing it in.
So is that another records request?
Yeah, of course. Want those contract terms and conditions for the policy officers to implement the statutes of the state. Because it's going to tell them where. It's going to say United States, it's going to say this. Territories or other property belong. Is it not? It's going to say that you can implement the statutes and executive orders in territories or other belongings of the United States. Will it not? Yep. I'm going to need to see the record. Because you came to my house, and I don't think I live anywhere near these places.
And that's where territory comes from. The ORI is away, and the terror is driving people away. It's telling people to stay away, but people still go up in that territory in that house and want to claim things and make things. Terrible goes back to infant terrible, and that's a terrible child. So it's the son of the son who's trying to be the prodigal son and returning above his father.
Exactly. They need to come on home and humble themselves. So I put this in here so you guys can see it was updated as recently as a month ago. Contract terms and conditions required to implement statutes or executive orders for commercial products and commercial services. The contractor shall comply with the following FAR clauses. This is their contract clause, which are incorporated into this contract by reference to implement provisions of law or executive orders applicable to the acquisition of commercial products and commercial services. It can only be commercial products and services because that is all that they can have authority to make the rules and regulations for. So they have to pretend like your rights are products and services, commercial products and services. They have to. There's nothing else for them to do. And you guys remember our last conversation about the fact that it's the Secretary of Commerce on Title 15, and it tells you exactly what they can regulate, which is United States businesses, and United States business means United States citizen.
Malika, may I insert something to you right now?
Sure. Is that Heidi?
Yeah, it's Heidi. Hi.
Hey.
I just want to say that they don't listen. Family court doesn't listen. I don't know. They're like a whole different breed. Like, even if you wrote a whole paper up about that.
Why do you think it's about convincing them to listen? Did you miss the beginning of the call when we talked about using their strength of ignoring against them? Why are we talking about the fact that they don't listen?
Because they need to listen in order to respond to return children.
No, they don't.
They don't need to respond. Okay, so how do you get the children back without them responding? And
you sue them. You sue them.
Every name on every piece of paper that you ever got, you sue them.
And you know what? And if you do it right away, you can cause ask for an injunction, and that way they get their children back. I believe, right?
Of course. Once you have this knowledge, you can use it in all kinds of ways. You can use it in injunctions. You can use it in TROs. It's the same thing you're going to be saying in your case when you sue them. You're not saying anything different.
Right. Okay. Got it.
The only difference is when you sue them, you get to say, I already told them. We don't care whether they listen or not. Our job is not to, when the Bible says, when your your brother or sister sins against you, go to them in private. It don't say make them hear you.
Right.
It
Right.
says if
Do
they
your
don't
part.
hear you, if they do not hear you, what's step number 2?
Do 'em.
Nah.
Take some people with
Make it
you.
to the
Take some
church.
people with you. Y'all don't read y'all
Correct.
nothing. Y'all don't read nothing, huh? Y'all don't
That's
read,
Matthew.
y'all don't
That's
read the
Matthew
Bible.
15 through
Y'all don't
20,
read the
right?
code. Y'all don't read nothing.
That's Matthew 15 through 20, if I'm not mistaken.
Matthew 18, 15, and 20. The
Correct.
basis
Matthew
of
18, 15 through
our
20. Correct.
PMAP class. That's the basis of our private ministerial action process class. We are so, our ego wants to make them, I don't want to make you, you know how easy my case is going to be when all I have to say is I already told you? I'm not telling you now. I've been told you. All the judge has to say is, well, why didn't you listen? What do you think what's the reason they're going to give that's going to make you lose your case? What is the good reason they're going to give to be like, all right, you don't have a case.
Exactly. Okay. Thank you. I'm sorry. I'm just angry at them because I just got off of the case and she ignored everything.
Well, it's
So
called being feeble-minded. I mean, you got to know what feeble is to be feeble-minded, and you know that these people that are talking to you are feeble-minded. Even though they're doing their job, like a lawyer thinks he knows everything. Once you call him on it, you're going to find out if he knows everything.
Yeah. And you're going to fuck around and find out they don't know anything. When I keep telling you guys, don't open the mail, don't go to court, the people who don't listen, guess what? Your feelings are hurt. You're angry. You're upset. Guess how I feel not opening the mail and doing return to sender to the prosecuting office in some faraway county? How do you think I feel?
Good, great. Final answer.
You snuck one in there.
They're going to be saying, "Can I phone a friend?"
You're right. These attorneys don't know. These attorneys don't know, guys.
They
I
don't know
sleep
nothing.
like a baby. I don't care. I got a big cabinet here. I can put more cases. Done got one against them, one against them. Who else? Bring it on.
Because what, it's been 2.5 weeks, Malika, and those labor lawyers still haven't gotten back with my managers. Now, that doesn't mean that they won't, but 2.5 weeks. they
That's
haven't gotten
Rima?
back. Yes.
Yes. What are they gonna say?
Yeah.
You just gotta
Listen.
keep banging on when you beat something up and it's dead. Does it talk back?
Yes, it does.
And you keep beating till it's dead.
Well, it might not be dead. Cameron,
Keep
do not pause to be like, are they listening? The hell?
3
Are you a
classes.
You know,
necromancer?
though, Malika, they will protect them just the same. These courts, I can't get them to move shit.
Keep hammering.
They don't want
Right.
a damn thing. So they're
You
protecting
have to
these
literally have to move the court. It's like a chess game. It's like a
Mhm.
chess game. You have to move the court.
Yeah, I tried.
Keep
Uh,
on
Yeah, I will.
keep on moving. Okay. So did we go over the supremacy clause last time? Yes, we did, because I remember we were talking about the fact that we have people who say things like, we don't follow the Constitution. Well, we know, dummy, that's why we're suing you. Because this supremacy clause says that the Constitution commonly refers to the supremacy clause, which establishes that the federal Constitution and the federal laws generally take precedence over state laws and even state constitutions. It
And they
prohibits
are not
states from
government.
interfering with the federal government's exercise of its constitutional powers. Okay. But this is the main part right here. It establishes that the federal constitution and the federal laws generally take precedence over state laws and even state constitutions. You have to use this against them. The clerk is like, well, we don't follow federal rules. Well, you show them the part of the state constitution that says that the right here, the Constitution of the United States is the supreme law of the land. And then you go back and tell them what the supreme law of the land says. It establishes that the federal constitution and federal laws generally take precedence over state laws and state constitutions. Now do your fucking job, clerk, before I sue your ass for interference and collusion.
Interference, fag on the plate.
That's right. Holding.
Whistle, yeah. Clipping.
Right? So we go to the definition of states. So everybody again can see the reflection, as above, so below. The definition of state means a federal area. A federal area.
Oh boy, area's a good one.
Title 4 is the states. Do you guys know that? The topic of Title 4, USC, is state. That's the United States Code talking about what the states, the United States, are supposed to be doing. Where they're supposed to be doing it. 4 USC 410 defines state as a territory or possession of the United States. A territory or possession of the United States. So when it means that when they say state, they're putting it right here, right? Puerto Rico, Guam, so right? The United States Virgin Islands, state of state. Whatever the state is, that has to be the unwritten F, right?
State insanity.
Because they're talking about a federal area. Remember what I said, guys? They're not talking about the whole of Puerto Rico, the whole of Guam, right? Just like they're not talking about the whole of a state. It means the territory or possession of the United States in that state, which is limited to and defined as a federal area. And you see what it says? It means any lands or premises, like an embassy, held or acquired by or for the use of the United States, any department, that means the building, the SSA building, right? The driver's license building, the
Library.
Yeah, because it's a theological term. Federal is a theological term of covenants. So it's got to be covenant, league, treaty, or alliance. You have to be aligned to accept federal obligations and privileges. And we're just not aligned like that.
and any federal area or part thereof. Now, does this sound like your whole state? Who's reading this going, yeah, that sounds like everywhere.
I see dead people.
If it was everywhere, why would they define it specifically? Why wouldn't it say the term state includes the whole bitch?
Everywhere, all the time, anytime. They don't say that.
Every,
What if it has a little s?
who cares? It still has a definition, does it not?
I've never been told that, by the way.
Liar.
What you got to think to yourself, what kind of property can the United States hold and use it for?
These nuts.
I was gonna say that, but not exactly in that word.
These nuts.
I was gonna say something else.
What was it Bobby said earlier? Pen is, tennis.
Yeah. There you go. Penis.
So here we are. State only means a federal area, guys. So when they say state of Washington, they're meaning the federal areas in Washington. They say state of Texas. What do they mean?
The federal areas in Texas.
In Texas.
Or ceded to.
Owned by or ceded to and for the use of.
Right? What
The
the fuck
United
is my
States can't
fault
just
doing that?
hold any kind of land. They can't just hold your apartment, guys.
I'll be like, when my apartment get ceded to the United States?
Right? When the hell did this community become a barracks?
Damn, where's the commissary?
Ooh, the company store.
Where's the company store? I gotta go to the grocery store 10 miles away. Where's the company store here?
I think when you look outside, you probably see a bunch of grass and dirt. Some rocks and shit. I don't see no United States armories. I don't see any USS floating on the little creek in front of our land. I don't see none of that.
They're probably quasi.
Yes, our favorite. So this section here, some of us have seen it before. It actually came from the Department of Justice website. When you're looking up territorial jurisdiction, you're doing your research, your due diligence, you're going to come across section 664 on the justice.gov website. And they're going to talk about a case that I like to bring up because all of us have to remember this. All of us, when they started trying to bring a case against us, I know a lot of people, they won't remember it until it's time to bring it up in a case against them. But where you are, where you're living, is very important. It's very important because if it's not in a federal area, they don't have any jurisdiction. When I say they, I'm talking about all of they, the police, the sheriff, the governor, the attorney general, the United States itself. They can't come there without your permission.
So just because they have overlapped in an area code doesn't mean you're codified.
Yes, you're not united.
Right.
Okay. So it says here, that prior to February 1940, funny enough, right around the time when they invented the birth certificates, by the way, no coincidence, of course, no coincidence. It was presumed that the United States, because everybody thinks that birth certificates existed forever. We think birth certificates are as old as Earth. It's weird, but they actually were invented. For those of you who don't know, birth certificates were invented. They were not always a thing. So anyway, prior to 1940, it was presumed. So no record supported it. It was just presumed that the United States accepted jurisdiction whenever the state offered it, because the donation was deemed a benefit. I don't know what the hell that's even supposed to automatically mean anything, right? But it was presumed that it was accepted as soon as the state offered it. So the state has to offer jurisdiction to the United States.
They
right?
offered that birth certificate.
This presumption was, I hate the way they, because I know who's writing this. It's already a presumption, which means it was unproven. So there was no need to say it was reversed. Okay, it was never proven. The presumption was proved unfounded, is perhaps what it should say, by the enactment of an act of codified here, 40 USC 255. That statute requires that the head or authorized officer of the agency acquiring or holding property as a territory or possession to file with the state a formal, a record, a formal acceptance of such jurisdiction. I hope everybody's thinking records requests for that formal acceptance of the jurisdiction, exclusive or partial as may be deemed desirable. And further provides, check it out, in the absence of such a filing, quote, it shall be conclusively presumed that no such jurisdiction has been acquired. It came from a case where soldiers could not be charged for an actual rape that did happen because where it was committed was without the jurisdiction of the courts. The district court they had an actual crime, a rape committed on land that could be owned by the United States, an army base.
I don't
But
think that's
there was no record to support formal acceptance of it being a territory or possession of the United States.
and that's not a coincidence that they use that example of the rape case, because rape is very powerful to this whole thing that you're explaining.
Everybody's experiencing rape right now. They came and
Yeah.
took your kid, they raping you.
It's a seizing on prey, an abduction taken by force. So
It's using their business intercourse as a tool of violence. The requirement,
Girl, you know it's true.
the requirement.
Millie Vanilli in this. They're lip syncing, giving us lip service.
Lip syncing the shit out of us, huh?
Yeah, and then what happened? One of them blew their brains out because they couldn't handle the pressure.
Yeah, so Ara told us about a judge that allegedly killed herself by gun, suicide, and
Gotta be careful what you ask for.
because she was associated with a mafia figure, which I interpret as she was in their pocket and maybe she didn't do what she was supposed to do. She started growing a conscience. Maybe she got some letters from Ara and was like, damn.
She was the point woman under their thumb.
She found out what you meant.
Oh yeah, she found out what YOU. She found out what that meant. You owe that debt, right? So the requirement of 40 USC 255 can only also be fulfilled by a filing, which means creating a record satisfying state law. So let's see it. Where's it at though? Because look who they tell us who we're supposed to ask. Right here. Because now this is actually 40 USC 255. The reason why this is important because what is the subject matter of Title 40?
Public lands.
Public lands. You guys are getting good. Public lands, public contracts is Title 41. Public health, Title 42. Come on now. So it's public lands. That's all any government could have an interest in. A government agency coming to your door, gotta be you better be at the public park.
Gotta be licking them pubs. And
Okay?
pubis is the fundament.
It says approval of title prior to federal land purchases. Now everybody's thinking, oh yeah, this is the army bases and stuff. Yeah. Why is it important to you? Because you need to ask yourself, how did they end up at my house? This is only important to you because you need to be like, okay, so what are you doing where I live? And who's supposed to have the record? The Attorney General.
And more specifically, that's going to be the environmental division of natural resources within the DOJ.
Or of the state.
You know,
The Attorney General of the state. I would ask them. Because they're talking about offer and acceptance. Acceptance of okay, so the Attorney General offered up the land where my apartment, duplex, condo, house is. That was going on, Attorney General. It says unless the Attorney General gives prior written approval of the sufficiency of the title to the land for the purpose for which the property is being acquired by the United States, public money may not be expended. This office is who has the record. Then they go back to this stupid presumption nonsense under 40 USC 3112. They tell you how the acquisition and acceptance of jurisdiction, and when they use the word department or agency, I need all of us to start imagining the DMV, the Child Protective Services. Who else be trying to come for us? Even the electricity company, the water company, because that's going to be local. All of them, when you see this, when a head of a department, agency, or independent establishment of the government or other authorized officer of a department, agency, that's all of them, that the individual may accept or secure from the state in which land or an interest in land that is under immediate jurisdiction, custody, control of the individual is situated, consent to, cession of any jurisdiction over land interest not previously obtained. The individual shall indicate acceptance of jurisdiction on behalf of the government by filing a notice of acceptance with the governor of the state. They go our homeboy. And what does the governor of the state, what does he rule over? Military. Boom. The military.
Okay, go.
Hello, Governor.
Yes. Hello, Governor. I need to see that there record.
Get your ass in back, Governor.
I need to see my acceptance, please.
Yes, I need to see that acceptance of jurisdiction. On behalf of this DHHS that came trying to take people cheering. I'm telling you, this is why we don't go to court, people. If you knew who the court can invite, who the court can make a defendant, if you know who the court can make a defendant, and they called you your name.
They called your public name with their private ass.
I think it's the reverse. You gonna call my private name with your public ass. What you doing calling my name, public servant?
Well, that's proven because last week somebody said they got a notice in lowercase.
Spell my name. If you're not supposed to be talking to me, why do I care how you spell my name?
UCKYORLF.
If you're not supposed to be talking to me, why do I care how you spelt my name? Can somebody answer me that?
Yeah, I don't care how they spell that motherfucker no more. We know what it is. We know what it is.
Okay.
It's the straw man.
It is conclusively presumed that jurisdiction has not been accepted until the government accepts jurisdiction over land as provided in this section. So if you don't have that record, it's conclusively presumed you don't have the jurisdiction. Don't try to come and bring me an invitation to court, process server.
You can bring, you might get shot.
You might. You might. I know with Sky in the house. I'm just glad you weren't home, bro. Cause I don't want you. I don't want to have to fight for you in jail too.
Yeah.
Just keep everybody out. Even though I must say that I don't know how they would even arrest you, especially at home, because don't they have to trespass?
Yes, sir.
And you can show them proof that you gave them notice. Why do you care if they ignore them? I don't care if I say, dear sir, please provide your authorization to enter my lands, or I shall shoot thee upon arrival. And then you show up.
It's the same sheriff that usually comes out every motherfucking time. We just put a PDF against them. I mean, what do you call it? A PFA over here. It's called a PFA.
PFA?
Yeah, protection from abuse.
Oh, maybe I should file one. Somebody posted that the other day. about protection order, protection
Just
from
said
abuse.
they're
I had the it was on my phone. I had the application pulled up. So they do have an application. Of course, you don't have to use the application, but the existence of the application shows that the right exists. And if the right exists to be left alone by them, you might want to say, hey, pursuant to, see attached, stay away, or it's going to be problem. And it's not because I'm threatening you. It's because I'm showing you this stuff where it only is applicable to yourself and your nonsense. All right. So last week we went over the definition of person. A lot of you guys were finding a hard time finding the very first mention of it. We want the very first mention of it because that's what's going to tie it into 1 USC 1 of the federal constitution. The very first mention. Not everybody's first mention is in the first title, but it should, in my opinion, because it shows up other places and we're not looking for it generally. We know it shows up in 1,000 times. We know it shows up in, if you have 1,000 titles, it's going to show up at least 1,000 times. We know that. I'm looking for the first mention. Is it in chapter 2, title 2, title 3, title 4, title 5? It shouldn't be down in title 40 something unless your thing is numbered weird. All right. I even found here in Nebraska where state is defined because that's the other thing we're looking for. Now we got the definition of person. We're looking for the definition of state, like we just went over the definition of state. In Nebraska, they say, unless context otherwise requires, state shall mean, isn't this a strange definition? Any foreign nation.
Nope, that's exactly what it means. That's how I do the child support bitch ass shit.
And any state, district, commonwealth, territory, or look at it, guys, right in the state statute. Hat tip and woman, right in the state statute. This is why we're talking about as above, so below. In the federal, it says that it's territory, Article 4. In this federal statute, it says territory and insular possessions, Title 15, Title 48. Okay? And then in the state statute, it talks about territory and insular possessions of the United States when they say the word state.
There's only a couple of them that say all 50 states, blah, blah, blah. There's only a few different ones in there. But most of them say that's that simple bullshit of the United States.
Right.
Which, you know,
But we
ain't
know
shit.
that even if they are talking about all 50 states, they're still only talking about those federal areas in the 50 states. That's it.
Right.
Federal areas, guys. Where's your first mention of state? It's probably going to say these identical words, territories and insular possessions. That's why we're calling it as above, so below. We're tying the terms together so that you can see it's consistent. They can't be talking about only the military and foreign commerce in the federal, and all of a sudden they like, you shooting, you betting on a card game in your house, we're gonna raid you.
Man, bitch, you're foreign. You ain't even supposed to be here.
You work for the state? Oh, the state means any foreign nation.
Get out of this country, bitch.
This is why people trying to become countries. People trying to make their family countries. It's funny because we had that idea maybe about 12 years ago. And so to see people talking about it now, it's like, you ain't even got to do all that. You ain't even got to just let them know you're aware because they know when you're not aware. When you're not aware that they can't be talking to you, you do things like show up to court.
They test you.
If you can't talk to me, why would I be showing up to court? If you're not supposed to be talking to me, I'm not coming on your command. I don't care what the fuck you threaten me with. I'm not doing it. So for those who are new here, we have, well, because I know it by memory now, right? So we have found all the definitions of the states and in the state.
You said for all the newbies, we got chocolates and bibs for after the meeting.
Shush. This took us a long time to put together, Charles. So what's important to know, states of the Union are not territory or property of the United States. The regular states where you live, the outside of a federal area is not territory or other property of the United States. This is codified in the Buck Act. Everybody, that's the homework. Download the Buck Act. Read it. It's important. It tells you, confirms.
Prostitution.
Surely do, for real. Because that's what people apparently that's where all the fun is. If you're not prostituting yourself, you're not having fun. That's what my consumer protection friends are showing me. Okay. So what we did here, guys, is we put together all 50 states in alphabetical order as best as we can. We at least got the A's with the A's, even if it's not in alphabetical order. But all 50 states, their definition of state. So we can start to see the pattern that it's not just fringe theory here that we're talking about. We're talking about the fact that if the federal government can only make rules for the government and the contractors under their forces, same thing with the governor can't tell you to pay child support. And this is one of the reasons why when people get bogged down in, well, my case is about child support, and my case is about child custody, and my case is about foreclosure, and my case is about traffic. Your case is that you are being treated as a territory or possession of the United States, period. That is your problem.
You
Everybody
are
see
being
that?
treated as a you.
You're treated as a you. You're treated as one who is united.
Let me come in here real quick.
Hi, Malika. This is Masha again. I have a quick question. So I wanted to know what would I need to file in regards to preventing my kids from being vaccinated with this foster parent that is going to take them to an appointment tomorrow. They've never been vaccinated or anything.
I would file a notice of intent to sue
Okay.
to them directly, and I would find out where that clinic is, and I would warn
Okay.
them that my kids have been kidnapped. My children have been kidnapped, and someone is trying to give them a service that I do not consent to, and I will hold you personally liable
Okay.
because they don't have no papers for those kids.
No, they don't.
I would also
And
file a criminal complaint against whoever the foster parent is. I would file a criminal complaint on the judge, on the whoever the guardian ad litem is.
okay. Because they don't even have any of the foster parents' information in the case file at all.
They're not going to if they're stealing your kids. Why would they do that?
Okay. Okay. And what would I also need to file in regards to getting them back prior to the court date?
Do you know where they are?
No, I don't have her exact address. I only know her by her first name.
If I knew where my kids are, I would find out where my kids are. I would
Okay.
file police reports. I would file criminal complaints on everybody. I would treat it as a kidnapping. I would not be telling them anything about. I wouldn't use words like custody and all that shit. Kidnapping. Took my kid.
Okay.
You stole my kid. You're administrating my rights.
Okay. I will do that. Thank you.
You're welcome. I mean, and it's the same answer for everybody, really. You got to stop these people from using they're using like proper English while they're insulting you, you know. So we're trying to use proper English back.
That's actually called sophistry, and they're using words in a deceptive manner.
Yes. Okay, so we're just gonna go through a couple of them so you guys can see the word state, when applied to different parts of the United States, includes the District of Columbia and the several territories of the United States. Who thought it was gonna say the whole of Alabama? The word state means everywhere within the boundaries of the state called Alabama. Who can explain why it doesn't say that?
Because there's no acceptance.
Good answer. Why doesn't it just say the word state means the whole state of Alabama? Duh. State means the state of the United States, the District of Columbia, Commonwealth of Puerto Rico, territorial possession of the United States.
Like you said, state of is different than just the state, right?
No, the state of is different from name state.
Right. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Right.
So Washington State is different from the state of Washington.
Right.
The state of Washington means the United States. The
That's their
united state.
jurisdiction bullshit.
It's the territory, a piece of premise, embassy of.
Yeah,
You guys see this over and over again? You guys see why we went over the definition of territory and possession first? Owned by or ceded to California.
What is the exact name of this hashtag where you're finding this information at on your site?
In the state.
In the state?
Yeah, you see, any of these will bring you here.
Okay.
Fuck, you can
States,
Google it.
United States,
Google it.
but
It's
some of
different.
these have a bunch of hashtags related to it. That's why I was giving the post number. So I memorized the post number. So it's POSTS/5177. You're welcome. Yeah, POS, just like these mofos, right?
So even though
Right.
even though you're sitting in your house, okay, your home, what you choose to do there, all these things are swirling around you. All these states of things and thinkings are swirling around you. That really doesn't concern you until they encroach on you and try to force something on you and lord over you, and you handle it the same way every time.
You handle it the same way every time because the same foundation every time. You have to be the person, their person. Territory or possession of the United States. You got to be G.I. Jane, G.I. Joe, or a licensee. The only exception is that you're a licensee and not just an accidental licensee. Like I thought I was just
Hey,
telling the
Scott,
world that I can safely maneuver this
you here for
deadly
dinner?
weapon. That's what you thought. But they were like, hey, a next one for selective service. I'm not talking about that type of license. I'm talking about the license that you knowingly and willingly went out and incorporated under the laws of the state to do something at the pleasure of the governor or the president.
To get your piece. You did it
Yes,
for
you're
profit or
profiting
gain.
for the municipal corporation out of DC.
See,
See where it
that's
says in Colorado?
yeah.
It means it in this state means within the exterior limits of the state of Colorado and includes all territories within these limits owned by or ceded to the United States of America. So are you actually in Colorado? Are you actually in Colorado when you say I'm in the state of Colorado?
So
No, you're on a federal area that has been ceded to, which means there's a record of it in the governor's office with the attorney general, who's in the governor's office, by the way. Connecticut, same thing. In the state means within the exterior limits of the state of Connecticut. It includes all territories within these limits owned by or ceded to the United States. Delaware. One of my favorites is DC.
Did you
In the
say that
district.
the governor is in the attorney general's office?
Yeah.
Okay.
No. The attorney general's in the governor's office. Florida. Florida liked it so much it said it twice. In the state or in this state means within the boundaries of Florida as defined in the Constitution and includes all territories within these limits owned by or ceded to the United States. They just updated it to this one.
That shit's so lovely.
Ain't it? It just keeps telling you over and over again. You think, yes, you write your address, 23 Elm Street, so-and-so county, lie, comma, 2 digits, two two-letter state, lie, because we already showed that looking up the Department of Transportation that those two letters like WANY, it means the United States Corporation Company. No, the United States Company Corporation. That's what it came up as.
Oh, so they criminally converted that.
Yeah, I posted a link to it on Lawful Living.
Criminal conversion.
They say who owns it. Who owns those 2 digits? Like NJNC, United States Corporation Company, Georgia, Hawaii. We have all of them. Idaho, Illinois. Within the state means within the exterior limits of the state of Illinois and includes all territories within these limits owned by or ceded to the United States. This is why when you look on the BLM, you'll see 1 dot over there and 1 dot over there and 1 dot over there. And you're telling yourself, I live in Illinois.
Negative, son. Negative.
You live in the state of Illinois? Indiana.
I live right here in the skin.
Right in the skin. Right underneath this green.
They ain't tricking me with that question no more.
Then they asked my mom. They said, "Do you have a driver's license?" My mom whipped out her driver's license.
Yeah.
They use that to say, "Yep, there you go. You ain't know. You in the state."
Mm-hmm.
Iowa. We got that from Keith. The word state includes any state or territory. I mean, come on. How many times I gotta say it? And we already know what the word includes, right? We know what include means. It means even though they don't list the other one, Puerto Rico, Guam. Come on, say with me. Northern Mariana Islands.
This is why your property shouldn't be taxed because your
This
shit
is why it
has never
shouldn't
been
even
ceded,
be in the county record.
hasn't been ceded to or owned by the United States.
Exactly. It has not. When did this piece of land become ceded to or owned by Attorney General, Governor? It's never been. Okay, so why is it on your tax roll?
Everybody on this call ought to be writing that shit down and going in there and slapping that shit on the counter.
That's what you need to slap on the counter, not the birth certificate. Slap this on the counter. Slap
Well,
it like the Trump spade card. Damn.
Yeah. 30 motherfucker. 30.
Right.
Yeah.
Kansas. There go Kansas. Kentucky, Louisiana, Maine.
Read Kansas. It's a little different, ain't it?
You think Kansas is different? In this state means within the
No.
exterior limits of the state of Kansas and includes all territory within these limits owned by or ceded to the United States of America.
Oh, that shit's the same.
Of course it is.
Who thought it was, he thought they were gonna mention Dorothy in there.
Oh, you thought Dorothy was gonna be in it, the red slippers? I
Nah,
like
he was looking for the
Louisiana.
straw man. He was looking for the straw man in there.
Oh,
State of Kansas is the straw man, homie.
This is true. I will agree with you on that.
Louisiana. Look, Louisiana says it a little different. State means a state of the United States, the District of Columbia, Puerto Rico, the U.S. Virgin Islands. They put another one in there. So you guys know now. Just because you don't see the A, B, C, D, it don't mean it's not exactly the same as what it says in Title 48. Territory, insular possessions of, subject to. They put it fancy. Subject to, like that born in and subject to jurisdiction of the United States. The attorney was having a good time when they wrote that one. Maine, Maryland. Yeah, let's read Maryland just for shits and giggles. In this state is defined to include the territory within the exterior limits of the state owned by the United States of America. Then it says, look, repealed and moved to some other nonsense, but we still got you. State means a possession, territory, or commonwealth of the United States or the District of Columbia. So Puerto Rico is in there, right? Guam, Northern Mariana Islands, right? That's all you keep seeing. As soon as you see United States and Colombia, you can only see the other things that belong in that class. Massachusetts, a state of the United States, the District of Columbia, Commonwealth of Puerto Rico, territory possession of the United States, any foreign country. There we go again. Any foreign country. I mean, why just anyone? Why is that?
Some political subdivision.
Why? This is weird. So they're saying state. They're meaning any foreign.
That means where you are, where I'm at, where he's at, where they at. All got a flag.
Are you guys calling out which other ones? Well, we know America's a foreign country, right? That's what they're trying to tell us. How do we apply in the state statutes? That's how we apply it. We show them that we have never failure to cede. Notice of failure to cede. It says that it can only be in the state if it's owned by or ceded to the. It says it right there. Nevada in the state means it's within the exterior limits of the state. So we already went over who's supposed to have the record. So ask them for it. Where's the record? That this property, my apartment, brownstone, duplex, condo, house, how did it become a territory or insular possession of the United States? Governor, Attorney General.
A foreign what?
It says any foreign.
Where you far? That's where the foreign come in. Where you far at there, bruh?
Good. All right. I know I keep coming back to this, but did anybody else find in their county charter or statute preamble where it says clearly that this is law for the government? I mean, I just can't get over it. The charter is fundamental law for the government of the county, not even for the governing of the county. You guys see the difference? It would be different if it says it's for the governing of the county. Then you might be able to say, man, they are trying to almost include me. But they actually say it's law for the government. That's showing you a direct connection from the top. Rules for the government. Well, we don't follow the federal constitution. I don't care which one you follow, because it's going to have to be congruent, because you can't make laws inconsistent with the state constitution as a county ordinance or governing body or whatever. You can't make laws that are inconsistent with. You're making a rule. It can only be for those who are part of the government administration, right? So as I mentioned before, we didn't get into it again the last 2 times, but I want to give you guys a chance to pull it up yourself. Minimum contacts. Look up where it talks about that in your state. Before a court can exercise power over a party, The United States Constitution requires the party has certain minimum contacts with the forum state in which the court sit. I bet you went to court or tell yourself you're going to court, but you don't know what minimum contacts are.
Stop touching.
So you don't know why they're not supposed to be talking to you.
Stop touching.
Stop touching. You gotta have that reach out, and it has to be done knowingly and willingly. So we're gonna cut this one here, and we're gonna go into the questions. All right. Go ahead with your question, comment, emotional outburst.
Okay. I just quickly wanted to
Who's
add that
that?
I found.
Who's that talking?
I'm sorry, it's
Who's that?
me, Leanna. Go ahead.
No, go
Go ahead,
ahead.
Am
You
woman.
would like to go.
I just
Yeah.
wanted to make a brief comment regarding the Monroe County Charter of New York.
Okay.
When I was looking up the general rules and the duties of our county executive, everything had to coincide with the municipal rule of law or the civil service law. I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yes, because that's where the policy officers and the sheriff and all the deputies, they're under that civil service law. Very good observation.
Thank
Yes. All right. I just want to say also, I would prefer the questions that we answer while it's rolling to be about what we covered today. So I would prefer to take those questions first, if that's okay. Is that okay with everybody whose hands up, that we take questions that are relevant to what we went over or have been going
Yes.
over?
Yes.
All right. So I'll start from the bottom. Bloom, go ahead with your question, comment, or emotional outburst.
All right. Well, I don't think it's specific to the topic, so I'll wait my turn until everyone else asks.
All right. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you.
Christine, go ahead with your question, comment, or emotional outburst. If you're speaking, you're muted.
Yes. Hello. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. So I believe it has something to do with what you're talking about.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I just wanted to make sure that I'm getting the concepts that I'm hearing correct. So I believe that you're talking about the jurisdiction between public and private.
Yes.
All right. So I just wanted to make sure that I understand that the public jurisdiction has to do with the government and government what's the word I'm looking for?
Employees.
Employees or representatives. Yes.
More
Government representatives.
correctly, it's about the government and government administration.
Okay.
You have to be part of what administers the government. You got to be the garbage man, the go-getter for the coffee, the policeman, the mayor, the governor, the clerk. You know, you got to be the bus driver, the librarian, school teacher. Okay. So you
Okay.
have to be part of what administers the government, period.
Okay. So for example, with the teacher, when they're at their job, they're under that jurisdiction.
Yes.
But when they're not on the job, then they fall under private jurisdiction.
Correct.
So my next question would be, being that they have a job with the government, then their earnings are able to be taxed by the government because they work for the government.
I don't know about all that.
Okay. All right. Okay. So outside of working for the government, when you're not on duty, then you're basically a private citizen.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. That's basically it. I just wanted
Yeah.
to make sure that I had the concepts correct. I just want to make sure that I have the concepts
So
correct.
if you're
before I
the city
move
bus
any further.
driver, they can give you a ticket for driving because you are driving, you're on the clock in the administration of government, right? If you drive recklessly or you're speeding, they can give you a ticket while you're driving that bus. But if you just happen to be in your uniform, but you're going home, you don't qualify for ticket. You're no longer driving.
Oh, okay.
Even though you're wearing your uniform, and sometimes you drive for the city.
Okay.
Okay.
So the question I asked you about taxes, is that covered in your tax class?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So I need to take that because I work for I live in New York and I work for housing, which
Live
is
it in New York? That's
yeah, I live in New
amazing.
York. I live in New York.
And you work for housing?
Ah,
And I work for housing.
New
Yes,
York.
I work for housing and I'm a maintenance worker. So I'm trying to figure out how do I stop them from taking taxes out of my check?
Well,
Okay.
for,
Can't. You live in New York.
You can you
yes, you can.
somebody
Yes,
caught
you
it.
can.
If you read the pertinent parts of Title 26, you will see that they're only supposed to be taxing foreigners that have made an investment in an American corporation and getting dividends.
So if you
Okay,
show,
and
It has
if you,
nothing to do with the fact that you work for the government.
and if you
And
show
your
up to,
labor is not to be taxed. It is not commercial.
all right,
so
y'all bombarding me right now. Y'all bombarding me right now. Is that covered in the tax classes that you have?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So I'll sign up for that. That way I can take my time and
Okay.
comb through all of that. All right. I'm finished. Okay. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you.
pardon him.
You're living in your body, not in a state corporation.
No, it's okay. He needs to take it one spoon at a time.
Indeed.
Mel B, go ahead with your question, comment, or emotional outburst.
Okay, so I'm just wondering if we're gonna go through the records request like we talked about in the beginning of the call.
Yeah, if you go onto the site and you search the hashtag records request, because nothing that we're covering at all is actually new, but it might be new to people who are on here. I'm doing the wrong thing because y'all know I can't spell. Why y'all be having me do it? I don't know. But if you put records with an S request, hit hashtags, you will find when you click on it, well, some people have record request responses, records requests. We have a whole video we have done recently about requesting records. Where is it?
You're the best. I yield. Thank you.
This one here. This is the one you're looking for. 8 days ago in Friends-in-Law records requests. Okay.
Got
All
it.
right.
Thank
Thank you for
you.
your question. Who do we have? All right. So, Prince Nasheen, you got your question answered, right? So we're gonna put your hand down. All right, Bloom, did you get your question or comment answered?
No, I did not.
All right,
Thank you
go ahead
so
with you.
much.
Go ahead.
Well, first off, I just want to say thank you, and thank you to everyone in the room here. I have definitely been on this path for many, many years, studying and zigzagging all around. I've definitely dealt with the birth certificate bays and the I love that term. And so a lot of things have acquired information but haven't necessarily taken steps. And then certain things that I was doing um being met with resistance kind of paused me in some ways. And so I'm just very grateful. First, I want to know, where can I sign up for your classes? I didn't see them on the site. And specifically, my question had to do with kind of doing some retrograde stuff that were violations, as far as eviction or being kidnapped through the DMV when so it's like I had like semi success with being pulled over a few years ago, and that just caused a complete like snowball effect, because I did show up to court, but I went in knowing that they were addressing it wasn't me. And so the initial judge was like, okay, well, what do you want me to do? And I told her to dismiss the case. She dismissed the case, but I wasn't aware that they had a second judge or fake judge administrating the additional charges. And so I didn't go, and then they put out the warrants. And so that kind of panicked me a little bit. And then I was, just kind of learning on my own and didn't have support. And so that kind of just like snowballed so many things. And I just would like to retroactively kind of defend myself. And
Okay.
so I wanted to know what processes, or what is, if that's possible, or what you would recommend, and if that requires a class or.
I recommend classes highly, and I think everything requires a class. And if it's just one class, I would highly recommend private ministerial action process, because it's where the information, most of the information about records requests are, and as well as the information about sending out notices of liability and intent to sue, as well as actually creating a lawsuit should you need to.
Yes, and that's exactly
That's
what I
all
want to do.
in PMAP.
All
But
right.
the thing that we're going over today, funny enough, and have been going over the last few weeks, is Pigpen. like everything I'm talking about, like we drill down in Pigpen, we go from the charter down to the city municipal code. And that's for you to handle the police and the sheriffs and marshals and constables and stuff like that. That's
All
what
right.
Okay, that's
And
giving you
so where
that's
do I?
that's giving you continuity of understanding.
All right,
Yeah, go
that's
ahead.
that's
Okay,
perfect. So when I go into my groups, is that where I'll be able to sign up for each class? Is that where you're
Okay, so
directing me?
click on just community,
Mhm.
the
Emotional
very
outburst.
first page that everybody should be able to have. You click on community and you scroll down, you'll see flyers pinned. This is specifically for an installment inside of PMAP called Sue Along. This is when we started, learning how to sue everybody. The instructions are the same regardless of the class.
All
So
right.
regardless of what you're looking at in front of you, like this is the how to join every class, these are the different names of the classes. The instructions are the same. You make a donation. Some people ask how much. The answer is right here. Okay. And
I
this
don't
is
see
where
that.
to
Oh,
send
wait,
it
wait. Oh,
to.
I apologize. Let me clear this off. Hold on one second, because my chat is blocking it. It says, okay, as much as possible. I
Oh,
see it.
yes.
All right.
Yes. It says donate per class. The answer is of how much is as much as possible. And this is where you donate to.
All right.
Okay. So you can pick individual classes like we just went over, or you could do a bundle. Okay. That's my recommended. Many people give more.
All right.
but
Perfect. All right.
Emotional
Wonderful.
outburst add on to this, Malika, because we just had a mother in Zoom with us prior to class. And she's like, well, I got the app. How do I see the classes from Tuesday and Thursday? And so when I had her do a screen share via our Zoom, she went and clicked on the groups, and it's actually listed in the app version. It'll say to the right, it'll either say private or public. So the ones that say public on the right-hand side, you can join immediately. The ones that are private are the ones that's listed in this particular flyer right here, and how to access them per the instruction. We just went over that too, Malik, like seriously, before we came into class
Yes. And
today.
if you're in any of the free groups, like if you're in Friends in Law, which is where this video will be, and where all of the videos that I do on Tuesdays and Thursdays, they live in there. And I did it like that for a reason, because I want to prove to people, and not talking necessarily to anybody who's spoken on here, when I give things for free, nobody looks at it. Because how to join a class is the first thing you'll see when you come into the Friends in Law group for the first time, which you can join openly. It says how to join a class. It's pinned to the top. Nobody sees it.
Everyone has a sigh of relief though when we take them through a navigation session. It's like, look, man, let me show you how to navigate lawful living. Real
No,
quick.
and I did see
it's
that.
not-
I did see that. So, all right. Well,
Okay.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, guys. All right.
Hashtags are your friend.
Yeah, hashtags are life on this site. And I know it can be frustrating because it happens to me as well, where I just in the beginning of the site, I wasn't using hashtags, and then I wonder why only 2 people ever saw it. But I get the opportunity to bring them back up, and as people find them, shout out to C Lockridge, because he's finding stuff from like a year and a half ago. I'm like, oh yeah, that's a good hashtag. I'm gonna put that. Make sure I update that that post so it'll be easier to find. So I hope it's working. All right. Now I'm gonna go back to the top, guys. Women, go ahead with your question, comment, or emotional outbursts.
Okay, well, this is dealing with my federal case, so I don't know if you want to take those questions.
Okay. Is it something that we should probably do a private session?
Are you available tonight?
Yeah, I'm available tonight.
Okay.
All right, cool.
Because they're definitely using this whole distraction thing to screw up the case,
Yeah,
on
we
the
knew that's
federal
what they were
case,
gonna try to do.
Yeah.
That's the reason why they implemented it.
Yeah.
Did they say something about it
Okay.
in the federal case?
No, but I know that that's what they're doing because Douglas County just filed another brief to dismiss. And the magistrate terminated my motion to disqualify the judge the same day it was entered.
I told you. That's why I told you to go back and look at the times that that it was entered, because they have to be using AI. It's impossible that you even read it.
So nuts.
But it's him that's supposed to be getting the disqualification.
Well,
not
that's the thing. How can a magistrate determinate a motion to disqualify the district judge.
Right. But who you need to put in the thing for is that magistrate.
Real.
I did, and he terminated that too.
He terminated his own disqualification.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
him. You understand why I keep saying it's impossible that a human is doing that? There's no way that a human is doing that. They got to have a monkey back there or some other type of AI, because if I
They
file
hired a computer.
a motion in the morning, they don't usually get to those things for days. How could you terminate it? Which is not the same as denying or making an order or anything. You know what I mean? They're practicing AI on your case.
You having another emotional outburst statement,
Yeah.
just
That's
very
what I was
briefly. Go ahead, I yield. But I
No,
gotta
go
get it in for the record because I don't want people to think I'm an asshole here. But go ahead, I yield.
Tony, go ahead with your question, comment, or emotional outburst.
Yeah, I kind of like it how you were going from the bottom. It was nice hearing all the people coming up. Success story was long this year, but I kind of like this one to keep off from the bottom, but I did want to share my success story sometime before you end.
You sounded
So-
really far away. Did anybody understand what he just said?
No.
He has a success story that he wants to share at the end of everybody's question.
Thank you for translating. Thank you.
Yes, when you share
put
your
the-
success story, please make sure we can hear you because you did sound very muffled.
Yes,
she
it's
put
like
the-
when you turn your mouth to the side of the mic or something, it's coming through muffled.
So she put the good one on the record, right?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that you're going from the bottom because I can hear the new
Oh,
people.
well, I heard that part. You like to go
Okay.
from the bottom so we could get other people talking. But if you
Okay.
want to share your success story, go ahead.
I'm a top.
Well, I'll wait because that was cool, but it might take a bit.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right, my emotional outburst is real quick. Okay, so the reason why I normally, and I'm going to say this for the record, and you know who you are. If you want to speak up and say who it is, when I've had an experience starting from last year, because I knew someone that works for Casting Crew. Casting Crew is who processes crisis actors' payroll, especially when Viacom did a $12 billion deal. All righty. And what happened was there are a lot of quote unquote, I'm going to say Moorish Latin mothers. You may identify them as Latino or Hispanic, right? That their whole script they were running was, help me, someone's taking my children. So usually when people bring that to me, I immediately exit stage left until I can verify that they're actually going through that. Because what's happening is they have a Viacom crisis acting type of compensated situation going out here, and it sucks because if there's mothers out here that really need assistance that are not a part of the crisis actors infiltration program, alrighty, then it's making it tough because me and my brothers, we're not going to respond to you. We're gonna send you to cancel CPS class on lawful living. So if you wanted to ever do a one-on-one, I'm going to put it out there now to let it be known, we don't fuck around. We do not play. And we're going to make sure that you read what you need to read based on not only what we know for ourselves already, that we've already assisted people with, but we're going to take what's also on lawful living to direct you there. We're not necessarily trying to get in your purse or your pussy, so don't look for us to date you either. Just putting that
Wow.
out there.
That sounds
Like,
great.
Okay, so I'ma definitely respond. I appreciate you saying that. That was me that reached out to him on behalf of Michelle. And obviously, hopefully she will get the help that she needs here in the group. But, the urgent situation was that her children were at imminent risk of being kidnapped. Unfortunately, Hassan didn't get the message till the next day. But hopefully
and I was scared like a motherfucker. Like, nah, you sure she ain't no actor? I ain't fucking with that shit. Yesenia, fuck that. That's how I was. I ain't gonna front. I'm gonna say it for the record. I don't play around.
I know. I mean, I've heard of crisis actors before, but definitely on a large scale. I never heard of it like one-on-one type of situation. But in any event, Malika, if you can, she would like to, I don't know if she's still on here, but she would like to book a one-on-one with you tonight if possible.
If I'm going to be available for tonight, but I will try. I'll let you guys know.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you for the question. iPhone. Is that Heidi? Who's just iPhone? Okay. Just iPhone going once, going twice.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was trying to click over from the chat and every 3
Sounds
emails.
like Heidi.
Can you hear me? It's Heidi.
Yes.
Hey, Heidi.
Okay. Hi. All right. So as I spoke of earlier, and right after I said to you, hey, there's nothing going on, so they told me that we have to have a case, and basically she decided she has to rule on the 1028 hearing that she has ruled on in 15 months, and she's supposed to rule on it after 3 days. She decides she's going to do that. So at least she's not forcing some of the things. But so I want to know, because I'm trying to relate it to your lesson today, county. I have to be honest. I haven't researched a little bit. I just found the charter, and so I just started reading. But can you guide me as to what I would be looking for in the Kings County Charter to deal with this Kings County judge that's completely corrupt?
You don't need to do anything in the charter for the county. You need to put in your disqualification of the judge. Stop
She came
going.
back and said,
I mean, once you got them in that, do I have to consent? And they were like rushing off the phone. Memorandum of understanding. The judge fumbled the ball when directly asked if I have to give consent. I
When
know
I
I have
asked
to
if this-
give consent because it says government derives its just powers from the consent of the governed. There was never any consent shown. The case is over. It's closed. You are the power and you have the power.
Right.
And you keep like running back and forth instead of standing your ground.
I hear that. The only reason, and listen, I know you're going to yell at me.
I don't
or
want to
say
hear that
something
reason
like-
again. I don't
But I'm just
want
saying,
to allow you
okay,
to
so
repeat
about
it
the
to
order
me
of
again.
protection, that's not a reason, the order of protection that a police can enforce. I shouldn't
What?
worry about that at all.
No, what? Are you in the military? Are you a person? Are you a
No,
statutory
but they
person?
still
Okay.
come and
They're not, you're in your
again, you're
head
gonna
right now,
speak to
Heidi.
them.
You're in
Yeah,
your head right
okay.
now. You're in your head right now. Disqualify the judge. Stop fucking going. Stick
Have a
to your
judicial
guns.
complaint?
A memorandum of understanding. Let the whoever might come notice the chief of police or whatever that they would be interfering in your private rights outside of their jurisdiction. If they come to your house, if they come to tell you anything, if they try to talk to you, if they try to act on an order from a judge that has no authority to make, these types of
Right.
decisions, you're dealing with a
Okay.
kidnapping situation.
All right.
Hey,
Well, thanks for
Heidi,
putting
I
into
don't know.
perspective. Appreciate it.
Heidi, I
Yeah.
don't know if you saw that video that Malika showed us where it was literally that woman showing up at court on Zoom and the judge saying, if you didn't think that you were, if we had any authority over here, you wouldn't be here. And so I keep thinking about that because like it is very scary. And I know like you're in a different type of situation than I am. However, I just keep thinking about it like they can't just force me down and do it to me. You know what I'm saying? So like I keep thinking about that.
Exactly.
And
I was gonna wait till she finished to say rape. But
Yeah.
yes, exactly it. They hold you down and give it to you. That's rape.
I can't force you to my crib.
Right.
So why the fuck you want
But
to go
when
to
you
it?
keep going, that's the thing is like they
Right.
think she doesn't really believe what she's saying because she keeps showing up, you know?
Right. Well, the thing is, I have to make sure the father doesn't show up. either.
No. That's why I'm trying to stop you from ever saying that again. You're using him as a scapegoat and you don't even see it. Well, I'm going only because he's going, not because I'm still scared, but him. It's you.
It can be
No, but what I'm
insane all-
saying is they railroad ahead and they were going to give him custody if I wasn't there. That's what they were trying to do.
They
Not
can't
that- not
do
that it-
anything.
I know, but I'm
You're
just
still like, oh, they're gonna give him. They can't do shit.
Listen, you're saying they're going to grant him legal custody. You don't want legal custody. You have nothing to do with legal custody.
And
Awful.
it's her father. So who the hell cares? Oh yeah, he gave the father legal wonder, whatever the fuck that means.
So the father,
No, she just wants to be able to travel freely, leave the country without being stopped at the airport with her daughter. That's what it is.
well, she needs to take control and notice these people that that's her property, and she has to make an agreement with her ex-husband, I guess, and because he's volunteering to the state as a one USC one in person, he's showing that he's non-compos mentis. You are
Right,
compos
he's giving his executive power to the judge, and
Right.
she can step up as executrix and take over shit.
Well, yeah, just privately noticed the judge saying it's my perception that he's being insane and he should not parent these kids because he's showing you he's insane. He's being subjective, and I don't wish to be subjective, so I need to leave the country with my property. That's without titles.
Everything is the same. Disqualify the judge. Disqualify the guardian ad litem. Disqualify the attorney. Stop fucking going. Notice them all that you're no longer coming to the circus. And I don't care if the incompetent father decides to come to the circus.
I can add something to that if it'll help her. I did way back when with Carla and stuff.
You have to stick to the fact that they are not supposed to be talking to you. You cannot come off of that square. You come off of that square, you start talking about anything else, you're going to lose.
They know you don't know what the fuck you're doing.
So I put in a notice of no longer wish to be a party, and that seemed to work for a little while.
It's because you no longer wish to be a party assumes that you were properly made a party. And that's a lot of people's problem here on this call.
And
You
which
still are presuming that you were ever qualified. So when you try to cancel things like, I want to cancel whatever. If you were never qualified to be in it, what the fuck is you canceling? There's nothing to cancel. There's nothing to terminate. I was never in. I was never a part.
you can't ask
The best thing you could say is, I'm no longer stupid. I'm no longer hypnotized by your nonsense. Not that I don't wish to be a party anymore. How the fuck did you become a party? When did you become part of the administration of the government?
you can't ask for a legal exemption if you're not part of the legal construction.
Correct. That's what I keep telling people. Well, how do I become exempt to taxes? Well, first, to be exempt, you had to be subject to it. And then a deity on high said, I deem you exempt. But if you were never a part, you were never qualified to act as, there is nothing to exempt you from.
Malika, I had to get off to speak to the social worker. Are you available for a one-on-one after class?
Why are you talking to the social worker?
Because they have my kids.
The social worker has your kids?
You're
The
consenting.
The foster person has my kids. I'm going to get them tomorrow when I go to this doctor's appointment.
Okay. That's a good
I
reason.
went through that. I went through that with Mama Light. Y'all already know. I went through the same thing with her, with them people at that damn hospital. I'm telling you, you guys are going to have to really, really, really pay attention to that CPS, that cancel CPS class. Like,
Don't
seriously.
go to the hospital. Don't go to the hospital. The hospital is their kidnapping ground. That's where they take you to kidnap you.
The
And they work it.
children were already taken. They're being
Correct.
taken there by the foster mother.
Yeah. That going to the hospital is only relevant for people who might be trying to have a baby. And somebody did actually mention that in the group, that they were going to have a baby in a few days. What should they do? And the first thing I told them is, giving birth is not a medical emergency. Therefore, it does not require hospitalization. And it's only our brain dirtying that makes us go to the hospital in the first place.
So what do you
Hold
want?
on, first, Malika, real quick. Couldn't she also say the kids is against the religion to have them vaccinated, depending upon? I mean, that
Bingo.
would be something also to say that it's against the religion to vaccinate them and
It
get it to the,
depends on what
the
state,
hospital.
because you can't do that here in Mississippi. They don't know
No,
how.
it doesn't. It doesn't
Good
matter the
Lord.
state.
It doesn't
depending upon
matter
how-
where
it doesn't
you
matter the
are.
state,
Stop that
depending upon how you
nonsense,
word it.
guys.
When I say, I mean, if you know your rights, I'm just saying, if as far as the foster parent is concerned, she's not going to be able to say that.
No, she can't. But what I'm saying that she gave them, if she gave the doctor's office a letter, basically stating it's
That's
against
right.
their religion, they would not vaccinate the kids because they don't want the lawsuit. They don't want
That's
the
right.
lawsuit.
Violating HIPAA. They would be
So when I-
violating HIPAA by sharing any of your children's information with that so-called foster parent.
Yeah. So if I was just saying, if I was her, what I would do, I would, I don't know if she can afford it, but I would write a letter quick tonight and give it to a process server and make them serve the doctors that's supposed to give them the vaccination early in
I
the
would
morning.
send it to them by email.
Yes.
I would send it to
Yeah.
them by fax if they have a fax machine, which they
Yes.
likely do.
Yes.
That way they can't deny they got it.
That's the trick.
I
You got-
appreciate
listen.
everybody's collaborative effort in regards to this situation.
That's a very big
Malika's-
deal. That's a big, I mean,
Malika's right.
when I say, when I ask the question of why you talking to a social worker,
Yes.
the generic, because they have my kids or because they can connect me with like, that's not a reason to talk. The only reason to talk to any of them is to find out by what authority are they doing
Yes.
what the fuck they're doing.
Yes.
What authority are you? Why are you calling me? Why are you talking? Why are we setting up? Why are we here?
Intent to sue.
Everybody needs to get an incentive suit. The social worker, the foster mom, whatever.
Yes.
Is there a what color noose writ there in lawful living folder somewhere? Or no?
I
Okay.
mean, you can always put that in your therefore clause. Therefore, if you don't bring back my kids right now, tell me what color noose you want.
And the
Okay.
hospital too, that liability on the hospital and the doctors. Oh, that's so good. All the
It's a
participating.
practice. It's a
Doesn't matter.
practice that's
Doesn't
outside of the
matter.
hospital. So I
Doesn't
want to
matter.
contact them.
Which,
The hospital.
which hospital? Sinai John's
No,
hospital?
no. She's saying it's not hospital, guys. She's saying it's just a
Okay.
clinic outside the hospital. It doesn't matter. They
Yeah.
have doctors there. They have nurses there. They have people who are licensees of the state there.
Right.
They have liability.
What is
Yeah,
it? Is
and
it urgent care? Is it St. Agnes?
It don't matter what it
Where?
is. It don't matter what it is.
And you
As
know,
long as
don't
she
think about
knows where it is or who they are, and they have a licensed doctor there, they are liable, and they need
Yep,
to
and I
know.
would, and I would put in your notice offer that you're going to file a complaint with the medical board, and that they will definitely not do it then. They don't want to mess with it. They
Okay.
hate the medical board. It scares them.
Okay.
Save
That's
them
the trick
babies.
though. But
Accurate.
Malika's right with the shotgun blast, because when you start noticing every mofo about their liability and that their butt is going to be on the line, she's got that spicy notice that she wrote, and it's so good. I mean, that's what you got to do. You got to shotgun blast all of them, because one of them is going to be thinking, oh crap, I don't want anything to do with this. What is
Yep.
this?
Yep.
That's why I do the disqualification privately instead of on motion, because now you can CC the motherfucker all across the board to authorities.
That's right.
I'm bear witness to that working in my own affairs too. So yeah.
Wow.
Hey, I have a quick funny add-on to that about blasting everyone. So y'all know I sent my private notice to disqualify the judge a couple days ago. But what I did,
Yeah.
I copied the director of the county analyst's office. She replied to my email and she said, I want to let this whole thread know that I think I was added to this by accident via BCC. I replied to her. I said, no, Katie, it's not an accident. I said, you're the director of the analyst office, correct? You seemed like an appropriate representative to put on notice that the county is at liability here. She didn't respond to my email.
She was like, Megan, I think I don't want my ass whipped with this email, so I'm just gonna gracefully bow out. You're like, no, bitch.
I had an attorney say that the thing attorneys fear is a federal lawsuit on their ass.
Absolutely, because they know they don't have authority in the lower courts. So when you actually know what you're doing and then you take them to federal, they're like,
Real quick, I would say that y'all need to look at the powers of impeachment too, because every one of these judges, if it ever makes it past the complaint process, it's going to have to go to the Judiciary Committee of the House and the Senate
Yes.
for the state.
For them to be removed.
Yeah, I think it's awesome because I use the same thing, McReal. I sent a private letter to the judge, and there in those cases, I set up, I played it my way. And anyway, they moved it to the 96th. They went to move the sheriff's in, and then all the cases on the 25th canceled, both of them. So that was pretty cool.
Well, I'll be damned. Good job, Tony.
Oh my goodness. I think notices might work.
Yeah.
I
You
think
think?
I think notices
Come
might
on, dude.
work.
Come on, keep happening.
So then when it went to the 96th, then I called the sheriff's up, and I had been trying to through 911 to get, and so I got with the sergeant, and I had right before the new year, and then I got reconnected with him, and I called him, and he's like, I just got served from the 96th that we're supposed to take your property at the 1st of February. So I sent him a stay and an order to get together, and so we got together today. And so I was showing them the private property and different things like that. And so they gave me a bill, and so now we're going to give the bill. They're following my orders now, and we're going to give the bill to the judge on the other one. From the sheriff
Wow.
to the bond, and we're gonna, and then try to bring in the marshals, and then I have my tribe too that's following it, and a group of other people. And the sheriff goes, there's two of the deputy sheriffs, one the captain and one of the sergeant. And the one guy goes, my property, I pay taxes. You mean I'm private and I don't have to pay taxes?
Now
So,
you gotta give the judge the bill or what? You gonna make him pay?
well, I wanted to ask you about that because Yeah, I was going to do that and a couple other bills I wanted to test it with.
Yep. If he put his ass in that seat,
Yeah. Yeah, so I have a bunch of bills that I want to do, but I just want to.
Tony's
we
gonna
want to
go
kind
and
of set 'em
smack.
up. We kind of
hell
want to
yeah.
set 'em up with the
So
sergeant.
Tony, can I send you some bills? I'm just kidding.
Now we ain't talking about no fucking 1099.
So Tony, after the sheriff said that he was gonna got a hold of you to seize the property, what happened between he said that and then you had the meeting? Nothing. You had the meeting and then he changed his mind, or what happened?
Oh no. I worked my magic. I used all the stuff that I learned with Malika and all the people here, and I used their energy and worked with the energy, and the force brought me to the right person. The right person and I just magically connected, and he was an awesome man, and the other person that he brought in, the captain. I don't know who's above the sergeant or the captain. Do you know?
So what was how did you go from I thought I was supposed to be seizing your property to yesterday something different?
Now you got
Basically, I focused on that the land was private and it wasn't federal. Was my primary.
Tony
focus.
flipped them.
So that when the
what
guy
it is, man.
asks, when the guy says, the sergeant or whatever says, "Well, I have a house, and I'm private, so I don't have to pay taxes." Like, what did you reply to that?
That guy was the captain, and it was my first time meeting the captain, and he was kind of like scoping the place out to figure out how to take capture of it. So it was kind of funny. But I flipped him, yeah. So when I was showing them private, and I had my computer up, and they came in, and I showed them the law that I had sent to the other people. Here in the Constitution, it's private. That Haston, you gave me that one.
So they actually got it just from you showing that to them?
Well, yeah, and I had been telling them that before, right? And then I had issued them a stay and a couple other emails with the other people on there, and ordering them to meet, and that there's no reason to be in a rush, because yet the county commissioners, I had them entrapped, and they were fucking pissed. So the county commissioner, the one that is trying to take went straightly to the sheriff, who was corrupt as hell, and I went to the sergeant, and then the sergeant and the captain are meeting with me.
Yeah, because the actual sheriff is not going to be who's out here doing the dirty deed. He allows the deputies, from the captain down, to be thrown under the bus.
Right. So when the sergeant had called me, and I had called him, and he goes, "Oh, I had just got this order today," and he's like, "Oh, well, yeah, we're supposed to come and take your land," and I said, "Well, you don't want to do that," and he's talking about that, and he's like, "Yeah, we're supposed to come and I said, well, you don't want to do it." He's like, "Why is that?" And I go, "Well, what do you think?" And he goes, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, notice of liability, intent to sue. It's
So-
you. And just
So-
saying, well, I got these orders here. You're supposed to be able to recognize, as a man of the law or even a woman of the law, you're supposed to know when you have an unlawful order, when
That's
you have an
exactly right.
illegal order, or when you have a lawful and legal order. You're not supposed to not know. And you can't say, well, I don't have to think. I know I promised to uphold the Constitution, but I don't ever have to think about whether I am upholding it. I just follow whatever orders come down the pipe.
That's why they're acting outside their job description when they do these things, right there.
Then the only way you can communicate with me if you're to be a benefit, So that's the rule.
Awesome.
I don't mind that they come up here and take care of everything and help me out or help everybody. I have no problem with that.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I always tell everybody. If you want to serve society, I'm not here to take your servant's heart away from you. You like picking up the dead animals on the side of the road. You like rescuing cats out of trees. I'm not here to stop you from doing that if that's what you choose to do. But what you won't do is use your authority to get cats out of trees and move mattresses when they blow off someone's truck on the highway, to then violate my right to take my children, take my stuff, waste my time.
Or solicit contract.
Right. You're not supposed to be soliciting contracts. You're supposed to be serving the people that are already in the contract with you.
Exactly.
Jeffrey, you fucking Jeffrey. I'm sorry.
clean faith, you know. So I have no problem when we're all working that way. So it was awesome.
Yes, that's great. Thank you for sharing that story.
Good
So,
job.
so anyways, we're marching it down, and we'll bring in the tribal people, and also then we'll bring in the marshals. So we're just stepping it through. So we will be kind of trying to set up the bad people so they're all exposed, right, for federal investigation, stuff like that with settlements and stuff. So this will be fun, and I want to thank you, Malika.
Yay! Awesome.
I want to give a special thanks to
Every time you go closer to that direction that you're leaning, you get further away from your mic, which I think is on the other side of you. So you become muffled.
Yeah, I want to give a special prayer to Keith, and I'm hoping to. I haven't seen him in a while, so I just want to. I've been thinking about it. Give prayer.
Awesome. I hope he listens to this and hear that he's being shouted out. He was on with us for a few minutes on Tuesday.
Thank you, everybody, and I'm using what you're all teaching me and implementing it the best I can, and I appreciate it. You guys.
Yeah, you're doing great. Don't
Thank you
hesitate
so
to
much.
light that case on him, though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we're gonna have a basketball court before fall and big greenhouses, and we're gonna have these arch green energy balls that line up, you know, with the arches, all that shit, the magnetic houses.
Oh yeah, I'm just want to let you guys know I actually got in touch with someone who has created one version of a free energy device, and they just happen to live right down the street from us, about 25 minutes away. So we actually are going to be setting up a meeting in 3 weeks because they were heading to Puerto Rico when I spoke to them on Monday. So I just want to let you guys know I'm very excited about that. And I know that's right up your alley. So we'll talk more about that as well, private.
Windmill Tony.
Definitely, I'm gonna get that big power plant.
Yeah.
But, yeah,
Bobby's out here calling you Windmill Tony.
you know, I'm going to get that motherfucker.
I love it.
I also got involved in something. And I bought the way to create your own. It's what Tesla made, right? Free energy machine, but it's called Infinite
It's
or
called what?
something. Infinite energy. It was based on some guy who found it from someone who was working in a secret lab, and he got the information.
They
and it
all
was
make
the
it seem like
Tesla-
it's
the
this
Tesla coil.
secret thing, and it's just like,
The
you know,
Infinite coil
capacitor,
or Tesla
a piece
coil.
of metal, magnets, copper.
Yeah.
You got
Put together a certain way. It's an infinite coil.
Rich. Trust me, y'all already know. Soon as I find out.
Oh yeah, there's so many different ways.
Yes, there's so many different ways.
There's some really fucking good ones too. You want to make sure they're in harmony with your body's energy.
Yes. So I'll be posting some videos later in the group from this guy's website. I'll post his website. You guys can go check out all the videos that he has showing the device. And, you know, I'll go do the sniff test for us all in a couple weeks. All right. So we got enough time for like one more, guys.
And not all more is a birth certificate based. Oh, I yield.
Champ. Go ahead with your question, comment, emotional outburst.
Hey guys, so I did send a private notice to disqualify the judge. While I'm on the call with you guys, I get a denial of motion to disqualify the judge. Bitch, I ain't putting no motion.
Hey,
it was a private.
I took your shit and put it on the record.
So I checked the record. They didn't put it on there. Well, not yet, I guess.
Well, that doesn't make any sense. So how could you have a denial of a motion that's not filed?
Right. It's not on the record.
So they filed a denial for the motion that's not on the record?
Yes.
That's an impossibility. It's not even why. That's an impossibility.
I would say watch how you do the heading on your documents to not you know, anything like there's there's court does.
It's written in letter that, and it also says private and confidential, not to be filed into the record.
Send it again and change the verbiage that I sent you one. This is a second time, and you forward. Do you know your equity magistrate in the district? What his name is?
No.
Okay. You might.
Also, sometimes the disqualifications might work better if well, it won't be private anymore, but it would be to an appeal court or something like that, where it has to be reviewed instead of it just being filed to them. And they're supposed to have honor, of course, and disqualify themselves like what they did with Megan's case. Did you do a shotgun blast?
Yes, there's a shotgun blast.
So they put I would really go and look at the file and see if it really was not filed on the file, but there is a denial, because that doesn't make any sense, right?
It's not filed. The last thing that was filed in the case was the order to set the case management hearing, which is tomorrow. No, that was on there from weeks ago. Like that was
right.
The last.
They set that a while back for it to be tomorrow.
So that's the absolute last thing that was on the record.
And then you got an email now saying that there is an order to deny a motion that does not exist. So, and you said the attorneys already got their motion to show authority or notice of no authority. Which one did they get? Which version, champ? You're muted.
Both. So before I met you guys, I did a judicial notice to them of no authority. Then I did a motion for the authority once I met you guys.
Okay.
And remember the asshole judge denied it, said it had no legal basis, but she's gone. This is a new judge now.
Okay. This
So
is
that was
great.
the-
And this new judge is who's trying to do who's trying to ignore their disqualification.
Yes.
Don't let them do it. You think they're gonna show up tomorrow?
Wait, what happened to the last judge?
You made your own?
The last judge did what she was supposed to do and left.
Yeah,
Okay,
she's
Who'd you CC it to?
everybody. Anybody I could think of, anybody I could find an email for, it was CC to.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so I think they brought in a more equitable judge, and if you're on the record, as a 1 USC 1, if you have done it,
Who you CC, man? It matters. So I don't know where you sending it to, but it matters.
that's what I was thinking. No, if
Anybody that you fucking go back.
Yeah. The chief judge definitely.
Let me finish. Chief Judge Justice, fucking over there in the county, over that judge, Chief Judge Justice of the United States, Attorney of the United States, fucking AG of your state, IRS, CID, Treasury,
Everybody.
FBI, whatever the fuck up. Shit.
When I say everybody I could think of, yeah. It's literally maybe like 30 people copied. CC.
I mean, you don't need that many, but 8 main motherfuckers is about it.
I'm just saying, anybody that I could find an email for
So
that would look at it, that's who I sent it to.
and so they're trying to keep on rolling. Is that what you're saying?
Pretty much. It was denied. But it wasn't for her to deny.
No.
Is my confusion. I did
Yeah, who
not.
denied it? Who denied it?
The judge. The same judge. The judge that
You cannot deny your own disqualification. That's like
No, it
Judge
wasn't
101.
AI.
Basic Judge 101 stuff right there.
well, the gym that they
Make
gave
sure
you was
what?
legal.
All right, guys, I'm gonna have to cut the recording.